whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with...
My tablet just decided to slide down because it's like a dickhead, Alan Talent. And it is our 6th episode in Season 2 of good old Blue Sleeves. I'm sorry, I mean Yellow Jackets.
By the way, I didn't... This just... You used your actual full name. You usually say AJ Talent type of thing. You use your full name this time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had 2 job interviews today, so I was in my formal name mode.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to say, like... Because it's Owen and AJ Talks, every once in a while we'll be like, wait, who the hell is Alan Talent? Like, who's that guy?
Yeah. That dickhead. Who's this new host? Give back the old one, AJ. He's so much better than Alan.
Yep.
AJ's 2 letters. Alan is 5.
Yep. But yeah, so this is a big moment because we're like kind of at the halfway point of YellowJackets now. We're a little bit over, but this is kind of like mid-season finale type of territory.
We're 2/3. We're 2/3 of the way done.
Yeah. But, you know, this felt like mid-season finale type of stuff right here. This is kind of like where I wanted to get to before we started RVB Season 9 back up. So this is a pretty good accomplishment for us. And this episode is kind of vindication for us because I think the last 3 YellowJackets videos, mainly the last 2 of them, haven't been... you would probably think to yourselves, like... Wow, Owen really fumbled the bag showing AJ this show and everything like that because Season 1... You know, AJ didn't really have many complaints, but then Season 2 has just been like complaint after complaint after complaint. I bet AJ was thinking like...
Oh, I feel like it wasn't even episode 3 that was like... It was mainly 4 and 5. But this episode... Well, it's funny. You kept telling me, like, oh, you like next episode more. You like next episode more. And I'm like, yeah, damn, that's a fucking good episode.
Yeah. I was hoping too, because I remember... You know, because some of the stuff I remember, some of the stuff I don't. I thought you were gonna feel that way about 5, and then I watched 5, and I was like, ooh, okay, maybe I was wrong there. But then 6, and then I watched 6, and I'm like, okay, if he doesn't like 6, then he doesn't like the show, or AJ's just not the audience for this show. Because I'll be really shocked if you don't like 6.
Really good episode. Might be the best episode in the show. It is. Once we get to the end, we'll give a letter grading. But for me, it's like neck and neck with Doom Coming as the best episode of the show.
But, yeah, this is an episode, obviously, that's been built up for a while. You know, Shauna got pregnant. Well, really episode 1, but, like, we knew she was pregnant, I think, since, like, episode 3, episode 4, because they find the cabin in 3 of Season 1, and I think 4 is when, we find out at the end she's pregnant. It's not 4. It's 5. It's 5.
It's been built for the majority of the show.
Yeah. So we were kind of waiting to see like what's going to happen with this baby. You know, fans had been giving predictions about it and everything like that. And you know, as you know, AJ, they really made you wait this time because you had to wait 2 weeks instead of 1 week, which is fine. You know. I don't know why they had us wait 2 weeks. I don't remember if there was like a game, like a sports game on or something around that time. Because usually May is when NBA does their finals and everything like that and starts to get into that mindset. So I don't know why they waited, but they did wait. But yeah, let's just start talking about the episode. I'm probably gonna pronounce the episode name wrong because I think it's Quai or it's not Q. I used to think it was Q because it's QUI, but the episode name's in the title. It's French for who, which is kind of very fitting considering the fact that, you know, a new baby's about to be born and no one really knew the sex of the child yet because they were outside in the desert, except Lottie somehow. So Lottie knew. But
I was trying to do a who asked, but you didn't even do it. Damn.
What?
So when somebody says who, you repeat that. You repeat it, and then you say else. You know, like who asked.
Oh, okay.
Like saying like. So I was trying to make a joke.
But the director of this episode is
Richard.
Liz Gobis. She's done a lot of stuff because she has a wiki. I didn't really realize she had a wiki until I just now look. But yeah, she's done.
First one in a while to have a wiki.
Yeah, we haven't had people who have wikis, but she's done a lot of stuff. It's not a lot of stuff I know, but she's done stuff. The fact that she has a wiki is pretty cool. Not a lot of people get wikis on YellowJackets, so And the people that wrote the episode, it was Karen Joseph Adcock. Probably not how you say that, but that's how I'm saying it. And Admin Rosa. This is interesting considering the fact that this is kind of a big episode. I would figure the creators would step in and write this episode, but that doesn't seem to be the case. They didn't write this episode. So that is pretty interesting, and it's people that we haven't really talked about before. So if you're making your debut writing an episode like this, you better, have full confidence and, come out with a winner here type of thing. Whoever wrote these episodes should just write every episode of YellowJackets, honestly, type of thing.
Right?
Yeah. I bet those people looked at those two and be like, yeah, we could have done better, type of thing. But yeah, I want to guess the episode date. So,
the last one was in April 2023. I'm going to guess April.
Don't forget it's 2 weeks, though, not 1 week. So.
Okay, I'm going to guess May 5th. 2023.
You know what? You might actually be right, because the actual air date, your tablet couldn't handle it.
That was you being right, fuck you.
But, you might actually be kind of right. Oh.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing this, but continue.
I don't think a tablet can handle the fact that we're actually covering a good YellowJackets episode, so, you're technically right, because the actual air date's May 7th, 2023, but as I've told you, it comes out earlier. It comes out on May 5th, the Friday before. So you know what? I'm gonna give you this one. I'll give you this one.
If only my tablet would give you this one.
It won't. It's still tipping.
Yeah, I'm putting some stuff to keep it up. Continue.
But let's just start talking about the episode itself. Let me get these nice notes up and everything like that. So, again, we're going to take the same mentality. And also, again, I forgot to say this in the beginning. I'm 7 minutes in now, but AJ and I still haven't watched season 3, so don't say anything about it. But it was 7 minutes in. I probably are going to say something now, as we didn't do it right away, but whatever. That I probably had to say something within the next couple of seconds, because it was like 7 minutes and 10 seconds. It should have been on my game there, but whatever.
It took 7 minutes?
What do you mean?
This just took 7 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, should we restart?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I forgot to say right away, no spoilers for season 3, for 7 minutes. So, But let's just get started. So, so the episode starts off with the code open. I really liked how it happened too, because obviously last episode ended on a cliffhanger. So it stayed a dark screen for a good 3 seconds. They didn't cut right into the episode or anything like that. And we see a super flashback. Which is pretty cool. I always like a flashback within a flashback. It makes it confusing, but it's super. We see that, everyone's in health class watching how it works to give birth and everything like that. It's kind of cool that Coach Ben was here, type of thing, because it showed that he wasn't just the soccer coach. I like that he did other things in the school and everything like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was a little surprised that he was here. But then again, plenty of football or sports coaches also do other subjects.
It's typically health for the most part, too, for some reason. So,
yeah, sometimes. I had a football coach who did sociology.
That's pretty interesting. But, obviously no one's really paying attention to it, because obviously everyone's thinking, as, AJ and I both took health class, but obviously they're thinking, they're not going to have to do with anything with this, immediately, and all that type of stuff. And I like that's not forced, it's how they would react, in situations anyways. You could say it's forced, because what a coincidence they show this episode, and not, episode 5, but whatever. So no one's really...
Honestly, it was fine. I mean, obviously, it's not the characters.
Yeah.
like being, like it's just us. It's like just showing us the audience, like, the dramatic irony of like, oh, you know what? If only they paid more attention in health class.
But yeah, no one's really paid it. Well, except Misty. And Misty.
But I like how she's like paying attention in the wrong way. She's like asking like, so how much blood is, like she's being like a psycho about it.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because Ben has like this reaction, like, yeah, this person's psycho, and that's kind of a cool, audience irony type of thing, considering the fact that she had like a crush on him and poisoned him like after the plane crash, so that was a cool audience irony. But during all this, like, Randy is like grossed out. It was kind of cool that Randy was here, and I think Thaisa actually and like Van clapped back at him, which was pretty cool. I like that he was sitting next to Jeff too, because obviously in the present we know the fact that like Jeff and Randy are best friends. So I like that they kept that, and we see that Jeff's writing a note to someone because it's 1996. You can't text anybody at the time. Unless it was Adam, because Adam could have done that. Well, Adam could have, because he's going to be his age when he goes to the past. So, and then we see that notes gets passed around to like Shauna, and I like this because obviously it's like a message telling Jeff that like he thinks Shauna's hot and everything like that. And I like this because this kind of shows like how long Jeff and Shauna were kind of seeing each other like behind each other's back, because we've heard the stories, but we don't know like exactly like how long and everything like that. So this kind of gives us.
Well, we don't know how long this is before the crash either.
Yeah, we don't know that either. So
this could have been like a few weeks before, a couple months, a year.
And then Shauna like gets up and like leaves the room and hands Jeff the note back, but acts like the note was about something else, like about probably something he was gonna buy Jackie and everything like that type of thing.
Yeah, because people were like whispering and like looking at her, and people were assuming like, oh, Jeff and Shauna. But yeah, Shauna got up and like mentioned like, oh hey, by the way, Jackie likes this, to make people think like, oh, Jeff just asking Shauna about Jackie. Yeah,
and Shauna leaves the room. And again, no one really is paying attention to this video and everything like that. And really, Ben isn't either. And I thought that was kind of a good thing, because obviously this is going to come back to bite Ben sort of when we get to that part and everything like that. He's kind of just it's kind of a day job for him where he just goes and plays this video type of thing, being like, okay, how much time can I kill this period and everything like that. So but a big interesting thing I noticed is no Jackie in this scene. I figured they would have gotten Jackie. I assume the logistics of it was probably too difficult to film this scene and have like that actress fly down for this scene. Like, I assume the logistics were probably going to be too difficult, because what are you going to do? It's fly Jackie down for this one scene type of thing? That doesn't really...
Well, it's also like, the besides watching the health video, it's like Jeff and sending that letter to Shauna. Like, obviously, if they were in the same class, like, probably Jeff couldn't do that.
Right.
Or he'd be really fucking stupid to do that. And also, it's like, we already got Ben, Misty, Thaisa, Natalie, Shauna, and Jeff, and Randy all in this class. If we had, like, also, all right, it's like, come on. All
That's
the main characters were in the same health class, Like, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah, that'd be weird. But I like that there was no Travis, considering the fact that, like, his dad was a soccer coach, so that would be kind of weird if he was in this class. But yeah, and then it cuts to the past/present, where, like, it shows that they should have paid attention to this video, because we see that Shauna's in labor, and nobody really knows what to do. Everyone's kind of, like, panicking and everything like that, and then it cuts to the intro.
Even if they did pay attention to the video, I still wouldn't be confident in, like, helping somebody give birth.
Oh yeah, and we have to make mention of this too. I assume, this is still 1996, but they're also doing this like not in a hospital room or anything like that. They're like in the middle of the nowhere, pretty much. So
yeah, no medical equipment, no like good conditions. It's like fuck.
Yeah.
Not to mention, again, of course, Shauna ain't exactly healthy. She's been like the only good meal she's been eating is fucking human flesh.
Well, the bear meat, somewhat, I guess. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's like, and the point is she hasn't been eating right, and what we believe is the reality. It's that's even a point to mention.
Yeah,
that like Shauna hasn't been eating well.
But yeah, before I talk about the rest of the episode, like, what do you think of this cold open and everything like that? I thought this was really good, kind of showing, like, hey, like...
Again, showed the kind of, I see them in, like, the school setting. And like you said, it's kind of like that dramatic irony of, like, they're in health class thinking, like, we don't really need to pay attention. It's like, just how could they know they're going to be in this situation?
Right. And I like that it's not like a thing, like, the show didn't rub it in your face, like... Sometimes this is why you should pay attention. Like, no, like, it was like one of those things like, yeah, how could anyone predict that they were going to be in this situation? It wasn't like, because sometimes the show will like...
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, I'm not condemning the characters. Like, you guys are so stupid for not paying attention. It's like, who the fuck could possibly predict they would ever be in that situation?
Yeah.
And it's also realistic. They're fucking teenagers. It's like, you know how many classes I just, like, zoned out for?
Right.
You know?
But yeah, so then we cut back to after the cold open and after they probably showed some stuff in the present, we see that Shauna's struggling, obviously, to give birth and everything like that. She's sweating really bad. Also, everyone's kind of struggling because they don't really know what to do in this situation. And Missy's kind of the only one that's really able to kind of really give Shauna instructions or anything like that. But then when Shauna starts to push, some blood starts to come out. And obviously this kind of gives Misty... Because also she just went through the situation with Kristen/Crystal and everything like that, where she just experienced... Not even experiences, but kind of helped participate in her death and everything like that. She sees that there's blood on her hands. And this was kind of a good contrast, because she asked in the past, like, how much blood, but this time she's obviously horrified by it because last episode she just tried to give Crystal CPR and there was blood there, and then Crystal just can't do this type of thing. Like, she's just like, yeah, no, Crystal, I'm sorry. Misty, Crystal can't do it either, but Misty can't do this. She's like, I just can't.
It'd be even more impressive if Crystal could do it. Crystal fucking fell off that cliff and she wobbles back in like, don't worry, guys.
Yeah. I mean, Griff fell off a cliff and went down the elevator shaft and was doing some good.
I would love it if Crystal walks in like half dead to deliver the baby, and still nobody fucking acknowledges her existence.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But Misty kind of like steps away and is just like, I can't do this type of thing because she's obviously still feeling very traumatic and still upset about Crystal's death. So recast girl steps in. And she's trying the best she can, obviously, but it's not obviously very successful considering the fact that she doesn't really know what she's doing. And doing all of this, she's... And they see, like, they get, like... Shauna's just dripping blood at this point, They have to get, like, tissues and stuff, and it's just, like... not a big pile, but enough of a pile of tissues where it's an issue and all that type of stuff. And doing
okay, there's obviously you're gonna bleed a lot when you're like popping out a baby, but like this is a concerning amount of blood.
Yeah, and doing all of this, like Thais is trying to comfort like Shauna and everything like that. I like Natalie's really doing good, comforting her, being like, yeah, babies have had. I'm sorry, not babies. Women have had babies. I almost mixed it up and said babies have had women.
Babies have had women. You're right. But yeah, I feel like that Natalie's also there, like, comforting Shauna and trying to encourage her. Because, again, past Shauna and Natalie have, like, talked, like, once. So I like that.
I mean, we'll talk about it. You know what's weird? This is the most episode that the past Natalie and past Shauna talk, but it wasn't real. So it's like, does that even count? Like...
Well, this part's real. So I'm
just saying, but I was going to get to that, but like this is the most they've talked, and I don't know if it count. It's like that Rick and Morty thing where they had that fun moment.
That doesn't count.
Where they had that fun moment, like at the simulation, and then you find out, wait, that wasn't even like real type of thing. Like,
yeah, that's like, oh, dude, that's a little depressing.
Yeah, this was more like, wow, this is more like a question, like, does that count? Like they talked, but it wasn't real. So, but anyhow, so Van's also comforting her and everything like that. I will mention this now because I forget when it happens. There's a really good shot where, like, Shauna's like still struggling, and like all the main characters like that have lived in the present were all together, like comforted Shauna, except Lottie, because she was doing her own thing, which I'll talk about. But that was a really good shot where they had most of like the main characters that are alive present day, so I really liked that. And during all of this, I guess I'll just talk about this now. This is where this is opening a can of worms, though. Travis, grabs like a big mat and everything like that, and he decides, and everyone kind of decides that they're gonna perform like a ritual where they're basically gonna give up a little bit of blood for themselves, like cut their hand a little bit, and kind of give like a sacrifice, so that way like the newborn can be born and everything like that. And this is a bit kind of like a head scratcher. It's a really good scene, everyone at one point when doing this pregnancy scene, everyone kind of gets their arms together and does like we hear the word us and we hear it as us. I like that Natalie didn't really participate, but she kind of like let it happen because there's kind of bigger things going on here at the time.
Right.
So,
well, if Natalie started throwing a hissy fit over this, I'd be like, okay, Natalie, not the time. Granted, I was kind of thinking, like, okay, guys, maybe not the time to be all cultish, like, while Sean is popping out a baby. But it's kind of like, well, it's like a recast girl said. It's kind of like when there's nothing to do, it's kind of like, it just maybe makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Because everybody's sitting around, like, not knowing what to do or how to help. So they're like, fuck it, maybe praying here won't help, but, like, it's something,
But yeah, everyone kind of does the ritual. This is very questionable just because obviously we've kind of talked about this throughout the season 2. Like, okay, what's going on here with Travis? Like, does he believe in this? And this is obviously opening a can of worms because in the present, before, Natalie's mentioned that Travis didn't believe in this stuff. This completely throws what Natalie said in the present, like...
Right, because you could, like, kind of argue if you squint your eyes and hold one hand over your eye. They're like, maybe Travis still doesn't believe in it, but, like, nah, he's 100% in on this. It's like, nah, okay, so Natalie either was talking out of her ass or the writers were, or both, which it's both.
Yeah. And that really isn't this episode's fault. Like, if Natalie never said that...
Yeah, it's just got build-up of the previous episode. This one just kind of confirmed it.
Yeah. And again, I feel like the biggest thing is because Travis is the one that he's the one that gets them to really do this ritual. So you can't really even just say, like, you can't even say, like, he's participated. Like, he's the one that started this ritual. So
he's like the center. Lottie's like, here, Travis, cut your hand, do it, sacrifice to, like, the wielder god. And he's, like, praying with everybody. It's like, no, he's in it.
No, it kind of makes a suicide really weird, because how much better would a suicide be if that's what it is, if, like, that's what caused him to commit suicide, that there actually was something out there. So it makes a suicide really weird, and obviously, and everything like that. So, then doing all of this, everyone is kind of still struggling to get, Shauna to pop out the baby. So, everyone kind of goes to Coach Ben for help, thinking, he's the health teacher and everything like that. But Ben is just like, look, I just put it in like a tape, and just hit play and everything like that. And I gotta say, the way that Ben delivered the scene was really good, because that could have been something that sounded like a comedy scene, but the way he does it, he said it with like such panic that like it wasn't like a comedy scene or anything like that, too.
Yeah, it's also like, it's one of those things like, oh, okay, so the adult in the room can help us. And it's like, they do a good job making the situation feel like hopeless.
Yeah. And then Ben kind of, he's kind of traumatized by all this, so he kind of goes and does his own thing. And doing this, he's kind of going back to his dreams, and he's thinking about, what his life would be like now had he decided not to get on that plane and quit being the coach and everything like that.
Him and Paul are playing Pictionary with like another gay couple.
Yeah.
And, it's also like they're, like, talking about, like, heat, like something, like, warm related. But then, whenever, like, somebody mentions, like, something about, like, cold or whatever, like, you hear, like, you gotta get, like, static.
Yeah.
And, like, and it's, like, Ben is trying really hard to, like, stay in his own little dream world. But, like, and then, of course, they hear, like, Shauna screaming in the background, and that, like, keeps trying to, like, pull him back to the reality of the situation.
And so I like this because this was like more of a struggle for him to like stay in this situation than like previous times and everything like that. I think what's cool about Ben being the health teacher too, because we just thought he was like the coach. him quitting the soccer team isn't such like a rush type of thing, because it's not like, he's not going to get income and everything like that, because he'll still be the health teacher and everything like that. So it's not like, it's not like he'd be really taking a big loss quitting being the soccer coach and everything like that. So, but then doing all of this, Misty is over by herself, like crying about Crystal, and Lottie comes over and kind of tells Misty to get her head in the game. Being like, you need to get your act together.
Singing like High School Musical, like gotta get your head in the game. Dribbling basketball.
That would be awesome. But
it was really creepy how Lottie was like, "You have to save our baby." Lottie said that a few times.
Yeah.
Or like our baby.
But like Crystal, Misty is getting wicked upset, being like, Crystal and I had a plan of what we were gonna do doing all this, and now it's like not happening. And Lottie's able to kind of convince Misty to like get her head in the game and like get back out there and help Shauna and everything like that. This was cool because this cut, I'm pretty sure they did a really good cut from the past to present, because they had like just seen each other in the present for the first time. So it really went well with what was going on in the present.
Yeah, again, we're getting interactions we haven't gotten. Like Lottie and Misty interacted at all, so it's nice to see them actually like talking to each other. So
yeah, Misty's able to kind of because at this point too, everything's starting to go real wrong. Like we see that like the baby's starting to come out, but it's like not like they didn't know if it was the head or not. Like it's like coming out upside down and everything like that. And Misty kind of is able to get back in there. And just kind of,
I'm not an expert on giving birth, but like I'm pretty sure that is like a real thing. Like babies are supposed to come out head first, and like if they aren't, or if they're coming out like sideways or backwards, like that's not good. It's like not healthy for the baby.
Yeah. So Misty's kind of finally able to motivate like Shauna like to get through this and everything like that. I like doing all of this. Shauna is just like because it probably doesn't help too. There's no fluids that she's having like doing all of these contractions or anything like that. So and she's doing all of this again in the middle of nowhere. But then eventually,
she's like sweating buckets and she's losing a lot of blood. Like you said, yeah, like not having any fluids or medical equipment probably not helping.
Yeah, and doing all this, Shauna's finally able to push through, and she passes out. And then when she wakes up, quote unquote, wakes up. She, we find out that the baby was born, and we find out that it was a boy and everything like that. And it's like a really sweet moment and everything like that, where everyone's really happy that the baby made it and like the pregnancy like went well and everything like that. Before I have you give your thoughts on the pregnancy scene, actually I have to give you thoughts first before I mention the behind the scene things, because it's because you don't know that stuff yet. But what do you think of the struggle? I really like this.
Again, I like that everybody's just so lost in what to do. It really feels like a group of survivors in the middle of nowhere with no like real way to like, like obviously there are a bunch of high school kids and like a coach. Why the fuck would they know how to deliver a baby? Especially under these conditions. I feel like a trained doctor would struggle in these conditions. And really do a really good job giving that like panic feeling. Although again, I was expecting everything to work out fine, because, they've been building up this baby being born for so long. Obviously, it's not around in present day, so I was assuming, like, Shauna will give birth, the baby will be around maybe till, like, season 3 or, like, end of season 2, and then, like, something will happen, like, he'll die or whatever. But they kind of ended up switching up on me. They subverted me in a good way, which, we'll get to in a second. I like that Misty's kind of like has to take a moment away because of what happened with Crystal. Lottie's being really fun creepy, getting everyone to like be cultish, and like again, he keeps like trying to take ownership of Shauna's baby. Like she's like fucking talking to it while Shauna is like sleeping, and again, she keeps calling it our baby.
Yep.
I thought and obviously even Shauna picked up on this because of what happens next, even though it's not real. Like I feel like that would be how Lottie would like be if the baby is like around,
Yeah, definitely.
Although if there's, again, if there is a supernatural thing out there, and it is like interested in the baby, I'm curious how that works with what happens to the baby. Because I'm like, did the supernatural thing want that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. But I liked all this too. You know, a big thing I like when I watch storylines. Sometimes it's just a struggle. Sometimes to get things, and when the characters are struggling, you know, it obviously makes the audience wonder how they're going to get out of that situation, type of thing. I like.
I have to say, because everybody always has their own separate plot lines. It's nice that like there's no like really again, you know, Ben's like a little flashback, I guess. But like, there's no like subplot for the past here. Like, it's all revolving around Shauna giving birth, which I like.
Yeah, but I liked, you know, I like that Misty like was still like freaked out about like, you know, the stuff with Crystal, because it showed like, you know, Misty's is a complete sociopath and everything like that. Like, she's got like some human decency, not a lot, but some. And the ritual stuff, I guess, minus the stuff with like Travis, was still relatively like good and everything like that. But yeah, kind of going through the behind the scenes of how they filmed this this scene, you know, and everything like that. So it was kind of interesting how they did this. You know, they filmed this for like 4 days, which makes sense that it would take 4 days for them to film this because of how stressful that it is. And originally, like Sophie Elise, the person who plays Shauna, like, didn't know if she was going to be able to do this scene, because as you can see, it's a very stressful scene to have to film, and, you know, that can really get in your head and wonder or not if you can do a scene like this. And the writers had to motivate her. They didn't push her to do it, but like, you know, we have faith in you, like, we believe you can do a scene like this, you know, to kind of get out of character, since the scenes were so stressful. Sometimes Sophie Elise like mentioned funny memes and stuff she saw online, like, since this is a big stressful scene to do and everything like that. And obviously it's cold, you know, this is being filmed in a sound stage, so they had to make it so that way, you know, they had to really cover up Sophie Elise and make her feel like she was really hot and everything like that, so that way she would sweat and everything like that. There's an unfortunate thing about this scene, though. They had to redo it because the camera like timed out, or like they lost the footage they actually like did with it, type of thing. So they had to redo the scene, and everyone was like, "Well, I assume some of this is assumed. Like, I assume it's defeated to have to do a big scene like this and then have to go redo it again, type of thing." Especially on Sophie Elise's part, type of thing, and everything like that. Yeah, that it's like that scene in SpongeBob. It kind of reminds me of that scene in SpongeBob where like they were making the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy movie, and like Patrick forgot to take like the thin off the lens, so like they didn't have it.
And then SpongeBob just freaks the fuck out. Yeah.
I can imagine that was what that was like. But that's not what actually happened. Like, they just, I don't know, the footage just got lost somehow. So technically, I don't know if you're into that's lost media, the original pregnancy scene type of thing. So, and I'll ask you this, because everyone was, do you think Sophie, I don't know how you feel about the Emmys and stuff. I don't really care much about her, but everyone's saying this. Do you think she should have got an Emmy nomination for this?
I don't really care that much about awards, but like, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what her competition was like.
Me either, because I don't think very big, because the strikes and stuff was going on at this time. I don't even think they did the awards really that year. So, And
she did a good job.
Yeah. But yeah, continuing with the episode. So at this point, when I watched the episode originally, I was thinking to myself, yeah, something seems like a miss here, because Shauna passed out, and then they cut to like the next scene, and all of a sudden everyone seems kind of happy, I guess because the baby's born and stuff, but just something feels off here. Like, this doesn't seem like a real thing. And obviously too, as we talk about more of the episode, you could kind of tell something's just something's right, because obviously the baby was born, but something's also not right, type of thing.
Well, I was actually going to complain, because I was like, oh god, we just jumped quite a bit. Or you know, the baby's, you know, like Shauna is, you know, the baby's like all clean now. It's presumably a couple days later. The baby's crying a lot, but like Shauna can't get it to feed. You know, like offer like milk. I was like, oh wow, we're like jumping a lot. It's really weird. But you know, then we find out the reason why.
Yeah. But going through all this, so yeah, then we cut to a couple of days, and Shauna is struggling to breastfeed the baby because obviously she's also hungry herself and not really drinking a lot of fluids because they're in the middle of nowhere and everything like that. And Natalie kind of tells Shauna like, you're also hungry and stuff, and Shauna is like, I have to at least try. Like, I have to try something here and all that type of stuff. And later on in the night, Shauna and Thaisa put the baby to like bed. It was really cool because they used the same like crib, that was made like for the baby shower and everything like that. I thought that was a cool detail type of thing. And then later in the night, we see that Lottie is being very creepy towards this baby. Shauna wakes up and Lottie's, trying to breastfeed the baby like herself and everything like that. And she's kind of succeeding, but we find out, I guess this was
also, like, it makes sense this is a dream because that wouldn't make any sense because, if you don't give birth,
yeah,
like, your body's not going to produce, or, like, it would take a while if you, like, were like a surrogate or something.
This is kind of weird, though. A dream within a dream. That's like it's dream upon dreams upon dreams.
Oh, yeah. Shauna woke up still. Yeah, that is weird. It's another Inception. We've been doing a lot of Inception shit lately.
Can you imagine Rick and Morty went inside this dream? That would have been what that would have been like. I feel like Rick would be like, yeah, we got to get out of here, type of thing. Like,
yeah, that.
Imagine what would happen if they incepted the baby in this dream? Because obviously the baby we find out isn't real. So like, I wonder what that would have been like, type of thing.
I don't know. Do babies get existential?
I don't know. I mean, they did incept. They did incept that little girl, like in
Yeah, when they got Scary Terry to like kill the little girl, Scary Terry pops up and murders Shauna's baby.
Yeah. But then so then Shauna wakes up, quote unquote, and then the next scene is Shauna's still trying to breastfeed the baby, and this is like a really good scene. Shauna's given like this really good like speech about like about how like originally like she wasn't even like sure if she wanted to have the baby type of thing, because obviously of the circumstances around it and everything like that. And she mentions, but now that you're here, like I just want to be your mom and everything like that. And I want you to see you like basically take on the whole world. It's a really good like mom speech. I just recommend you look it up online because it's a really good speech, and I can't really do the justice of what she says. And this is also where I thought, okay, something's kind of off here because obviously like in the present, Shauna just gave like a different speech type of thing, and I'm like, something's not adding up here type of thing.
Well, I think, obviously, I feel like this is how Shauna really feels. And, in the present, when she gives that really shitty speech about Callie, that's also how she really feels.
Yeah, so...
It's just because of what happens here that results in how she feels in the present.
But I think why also some stuff wasn't adding up, too, was, like, Shauna's, like, really distant in the present and, like, doesn't really want to be, like, a mom. So, like, something's not adding up. Because
that's why I'm saying, like,
yeah.
I feel like because of like all of this, basically all these hopes and dreams, Sean getting smoothed down, and that's kind of what results in the future.
Yeah. And then Natalie comes in because she's finally able to successfully breastfeed the baby, and Natalie's like really happy for her, like, and everything like that. And Natalie's like gonna be like, so should I let everyone know? And Shauna's just kind of like, no, just let me have this moment. Like, okay, I struggle to get this moment. I want to just like enjoy this moment for myself type of thing, which is pretty realistic, I think. The way I made it sound like Natalie came in and be like, was that good? And Shauna's like gave a thumbs up, but it was like more somber than that and everything like that. If it was a comedy, that probably would have been how it would have been.
Honestly, Shauna's actress, I liked this scene more than the giving birth scene. Where like, yeah, it felt more intimate, obviously, because the giving birth scene, everybody's around her, she's like, fucking sweating and like panicking and freaking out. Where this, it's more like quiet. It's just her and the baby alone in the room.
Yeah.
And again, it's like just getting, because Shauna like is never honest, so like just hearing Shauna's like genuine thoughts and like how happy she is to be a mom and how she like wants this kid to like, just be her kid, like to see it grow up and be a person. And like she's really struggling to. I think she kind of blames herself a little bit. She's like, hey, you probably, like maybe you don't want to breastfeed off of me because you like resent me because I didn't want you at first. Obviously, that's, like I can buy like somebody in Shauna's position kind of feeling that.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
My punishment, I didn't want you, so now you don't want me. But like, please,
Yeah, and then the last scene of the whole show really is Shauna wakes up. Shauna wakes up like in this dream world type of thing, and she goes out.
She wakes up twice within the stream.
Well, I'm saying because she wakes up again like in a couple seconds, so that's why I'm saying like Shauna wakes up. So
Yeah, I know, like the way it's filmed, it's meant to make you think this is like another day.
Yeah, but
like I'm just saying because this is all one dream. It is weird how like Shauna wakes up, finds Lottie with the baby.
Yeah.
Then like later she wakes up again, and it's like, oh wow, Shauna, you're like woke up within a dream and then woke up within another dream.
Right. I mean, I don't think Rick and Morty would be able to do Inception in Shauna's dream, I think, because she would wake up too many times. So
yeah.
I feel like Rick would have to, like, really, like, break her neck and all that type of stuff, like, get in there. Like, yeah, she comes out of the room that she's staying in the cabin. Because I did like that, too, because Shauna was kind of, it seems like, I don't know if this was planned originally, because again, we find out this isn't real, but it seemed like Shauna was just going to have her own room and everything like that. I don't know if they planned that out actually, or like if Shauna was thinking that, but we'll see. But she comes out and she sees, everyone eating something, and there's blood all over their faces and all over their hands and everything like that. And this is when I kind of figured that something was amiss here, because Ben was participating in this, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't notice this on like a first watch, because you're like, you're so caught up with emotion and stuff, you're like shocked. But like when I saw this the second time, I'm like, yeah, Ben participated. I'm like, yeah, then this wasn't real. I don't know if you caught that, like Ben was participating, so I don't know if that made you think something.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, okay, something doesn't seem right.
Yeah, and Shauna comes over, and we find out that everyone ate the baby pretty much, which was kind of cool that they did this in the dream, because obviously this was a big thing that everyone predicted was going to happen. So I kind of like that the writers.
Yeah, that was my guess on what was going to happen, if they were going to eat the baby, or that like the baby would like die later. They don't know, like, because a baby can't fucking eat bear meat. So my prediction was like they can't like feed the baby anything, so it would die, and then they would end up eating.
So I did kind of like that, like the writers gave the audience what they wanted without giving them what they wanted, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
And then, Shauna, we find out, though, that none of this was real. I don't know if you could tell. I didn't really do a good job hiding that, but none of this was real. Shauna wakes up, and she's still in, like, the same position that she was in when she was going to give birth and everything like that. And everyone's still, like, around her and everything like that. And Shauna's obviously confused, because in her mind, 2 whole days probably just went by, and she's just like, "What happened? Like, my baby was born. Like, you were all there, type of thing. Except Captain Flowers, he wasn't there. What was the name of that guy in RVB that it was I don't think it was Captain Flowers, but it was somebody. It was some other guy that wasn't there.
Oh yeah, when Church woke up in like the alternate ending, I remember his name, like Anderson or something.
Wait, did they just use that name in season 9? They just used that name.
What, Anderson?
Yeah. Anderson, like Smith? That's the BS name, Church?
Oh, yeah, I think that's the joke, because they keep using that name as like a fake person.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. Wow, we just did an RVB like revelation, like in the middle of like a big scene that we're supposed to be talking about right now. But
yeah, that is funny.
But it was just funny because that's one of the names of the season. That's the name of season 7, I believe. So it's pretty funny. It should have been the name of season 8.
I know, right?
But Shauna's obviously like really confused, and Taissa like heartbreakingly tells Shauna, and I like that it came from Taissa, because I feel like Taissa was probably going to be the only one that could like tell Shauna. I mean, it was still going to be bad news regardless, but I feel like, you know, because of their relationship, I think like it had to kind of come from Taissa versus like Maui or like Recast Girl.
Yeah, no, we get one shot of Mari in this whole episode, and I'm like, Mari, you know, she doesn't say anything, but you know for a fucking fact, she's just sitting there like, I could have delivered that baby easily.
I remember we talked about this off screen. Less Maui screen time, episodes are better. More Maui screen time, episodes go down.
Listen, I know for sure. Next episode, Mari's gonna like throw some shade at like Misty, be like, oh, well maybe if you didn't panic during giving birth, the baby would still be alive or something.
Or Molly might get her own plot next episode, like the whole thing type of thing, like the main plot. So, hey, didn't she kind of get it in like episode 4 or episode 5? I'm pretty sure she did.
Listen, we already got rid of Crystal. Again, just take Mari and throw her off the cliff, please.
I hate to tell you this, AJ. We don't really know when that scene happens with Pitgo. If that's not, and then that doesn't seem like that's. I thought if Molly's Pitgo, we're stuck with Molly for like a while. I just want you to know that. I kind of want.
Hopefully that's like the first scene of season 3.
I kind of want Molly to be I kind of want Molly to be Pit Girl just so you have to deal with just for the lulls of these reviews and everything like that.
So I'm like, hallelujah, hallelujah. Once he finally dies.
You know what sucks too? That you didn't even know anything about this show when you saw that scene. When you watch, if you ever go back and watch YellowJackets again, you're gonna like love that scene more if you find out Molly's Pit Girl.
Like, oh, sweet, yeah, Mari. The very first scene of the show is the worst character getting murdered. All right, you know what? That's pretty rad.
But anyhow, back to like the actual. It's a pretty serious scene here.
Again, Mari has one shot in this whole episode, and we just had to dunk on her for it.
It's like with Adam. Remember, Adam was in like one of the episodes of season 1, and we spent like a half hour like roasting him and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, like, it's like Adam, why the fuck you always around, dude?
I mean, Kita's dad. Kita's dad was in like he was in like. I think
he was in that one scene of like the worst episode. We haven't reviewed it. It was the best part of the episode.
No, I was saying like the episode where like he's laughing at Kita for.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, we talk about that fucking constantly, and it was one scene, and he was just in the background, fucking smug as fuck.
But anyhow, so yeah, Shauna so Taissa tells Shauna that the baby didn't make it. And obviously Shauna's really confused about this because again, she just had this like big dream, and this obviously gets her like wicked upset and everything like that. And she kind of doesn't, well, not at first, she doesn't really know what's happening. Like she talks about like, no, like I don't understand what happened. Like I was breastfeeding him. You guys all ate the baby and everything like that. And then like Misty comes over like with the child. And obviously no child was really there, hopefully. But you know, Darth Vader murdered them all.
Yeah, they had to murder an actual child to film this scene. You're talking about behind the scenes stuff. It's like, yeah, you know, the actress was having a hard time really getting in because it's a very stressful scene. You know, it was also a little tough, you know, when we had to have her like actually murder an actual baby.
Yeah.
In order to like, you know, really make it authentic. But we thought it was worth it.
But you know, Shauna, you know, is really confused about this, and then she like looks inside, like, because like the blanket, and that like confirms to like Shauna, like, yeah, this is like real at this point now, like your baby like didn't really make it, type of thing. Wow, I sounded really unsympathetic when I said.
Like, the whole time he's just like repeating over and over, like, no, he was crying, he was real, you know,
yeah.
Like, he was thinking, you know, like she just like can't accept that her dream was just a dream.
And yeah, she looks inside the thing, and then everyone gets really upset. Because especially once Shauna realizes this is reality now, and yeah, everyone gets really upset, and that's like how the episode like ends. It doesn't end.
Well, I like that. It's just like everybody kind of just like slowly like gets up and walks away, kind of like giving Shauna like space to deal with this.
And some of these tears were mostly real, type of thing. Like, and when the actors did.
The actors did a good job. I will say it was kind of weird how like, you know, once everybody got up, Shauna kept just like she's sort of like staring at the camera and like screaming.
Yeah, but you know.
And like I'm like, okay, I don't know why they had her just like stare at the camera. That was a little weird. But she did a good job as like an actress. Yeah,
but really good stuff here. And honestly, I like the result they went down here. this really explains Shauna present day, why she's like really cold and everything like that now, and it just kind of feels like we always make this joke like my innocence died inside. Honestly, that you could make an argument some of Shauna's innocence died in this scene right here probably, and everything like that. I know we always make that joke, but like it's a really heartbreaking scene, and it kind of and it really sucks, and we talked about this off camera a lot, but like, it really sucks about this because like there's gonna be stuff that Shauna says in the present where you're kind of like, yeah, I could kind of see why Shauna didn't want Callie a little bit because of this scene right here and everything like that, and like
it's like obviously fucked up and like it's unfair to Callie, but like yeah, I can see why Shauna is such a shitty mother present day.
Yeah, so kind of like gave you a little bit of revelation and everything like that, and this is kind of cool because I just watched RVB season 9, and this is a good comparison thing we can make when we talk about the end of season 9. What happens to Church? I mean, it's only a big thing that happens, but like this, is pretty much the same thing where Shauna comes out of this dream and everything like that.
And it's like, no, please put me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shauna kind of wanted that like type of thing too. So
I like that it wasn't perfect. Like the dream, like obviously, like again, it was just, it wasn't just fairy tale where like, oh, everything was perfect. They had a baby. They got rescued right away. They went back home and everything was great. Like it was like.
It was realistic.
She struggled, we struggled a lot to like get the baby to feed to her, and when it finally happened, it felt like such a like a great, like we both worked so hard to get to this point.
And I feel like
ripped away.
What I liked about this too is it seems like a lot of like Shauna's feelings that she was probably having if the baby was ever born, we saw like come to fruition, like them eating it, but like the breastfeeding thing was a big thing, and obviously the stuff with Lottie, like it feels like that came out, so we got to kind of see like. Shauna was probably happy having the baby, but she still had these feelings and everything like that and all that type of stuff. So
like worries of like, what's Lottie gonna do with the baby? She's being weird about it. It's like we ate Jackie. What happens when we all get hungry again?
Yeah. So and then it's almost as if like Shauna kind of wanted having the feelings was probably better for Shauna because obviously she's not gonna have any of these feelings now, type of thing. So it's almost like. And I think, too, obviously the baby dying, probably in Shauna's mind, because, again, we're still in the past. They don't know if they're going to get rescued or not. She feels like, the baby being born, like, that's the last thing of, like, Jackie. Like, the whole reason she wanted to have this baby and everything like that was for Jackie not to die for nothing and all that type of stuff. And she's probably thinking Jackie probably now died for nothing, considering the fact that the baby, died, pretty much. So, really sad and everything like that. And then like obviously like in the present, before Jeff reads the journal, Jeff didn't know about this for a while, so we're wondering like what pressured them to even have Callie and everything like that and all that stuff, because
again, we talked about off camera, you can push it, you can make it either way, like where Shauna never wanted kids again, but Jeff not knowing about the first kid kind of pushed her into it. Or the reverse, where Shauna kind of wanted to like get a do-over on being a mom and have a second kid, but obviously, like she couldn't bring herself to like be a good mom after what happened.
Yeah. So, I really like it. I kind of hope it's the one you said, because that's even better. I think because
where Shauna was the one to like push it, or
Shauna, I think, because the Jeff one would be good, but I feel like the Shauna one would be better just because Shauna would be. It would make more sense if Shauna's really pushing for it, type of thing.
Yeah, because I feel like that says a lot more about Shauna's character. With Jeff, I mean, I feel like it's pretty realistic. I'm just like, they're married.
Yeah.
Jeff wants to be a father, not knowing that he already was a father.
I think what's good too is I don't think we'll ever get the answer to these questions, unless the characters.
It could be a mix of both. It could be a mix of like Jeff wanted to have a kid, not knowing about the first one.
Yeah.
And Shauna was like, hey, I want to do over,
Yeah. So I like this a lot, and really the past was just absolutely like fantastic type of thing. It's probably been the best episode that the past has done, where everything just felt focused. And then I guess we could talk about the big reason something also felt like a miss in the past now that we know. Because when we see everything in Shauna's dream sequence, it's only told in Shauna's perspective. So it's like, this is kind of weird, this episode's now being only focused on Shauna, because like during the birth and everything like that, even though it was about Shauna, we weren't just getting Shauna's perspective. We were getting like Misty's perspective, we were getting Lottie's perspective. Now it seems like this episode is just told in Shauna's point of view completely. So that's also why I thought something was amiss in the dream sequence, like originally, and everything like that. So what'd you think of the past overall before you talk about the present? I almost forgot to the video because I forgot there's a whole present storyline we got to talk about.
Right.
Not like RVB level of present.
Again, I really like the past. Like you said, it's very just like focused, which is good finally, because I feel like, again, the show kind of stretches itself thin too sometimes by like doing, we'll have like 3 past storylines and like obviously the 4 modern day storylines. It's like we'll have like 7 or 8 storylines all in one episode, and it's like, all right, chill out a little bit. So I think this episode did a really good job of just like focusing it on, while also continuing, like, of course, the stuff with Ben, thinking about Paul, Misty thinking about Crystal, like they have their own storylines like converging with the main plot of Shauna giving birth. And of course, I love the subversion of like the baby dying at birth, and it makes a lot of sense because again, they're starving, so much stress happening, they're such in shitty conditions.
And also, too, Sean, like, I did mention this in some of the episodes, but I don't think you picked up on it. Shauna was also eating a lot of bad stuff, like the bear meat and, like, humans and stuff like that the baby probably, because as I said, there's only certain things that people pregnant that they can't eat and everything like that, and obviously that's one of them.
To be perfectly honest, I'm amazed Shauna got to this point in her pregnancy.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, because I was about to say...
Let's see, with all everything that's been happening, you figure like she would have a miscarriage after.
That's true.
5 months or.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Again, sometimes when a show tries or a movie tries to like subvert something, it's in a really shitty way. But this was like in a.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have to see what they do with it. But like, I feel like this is just as good for Shauna's character as if the baby ended up living for a little while. I'm interested to see what's up with Lottie and like the 4th god, because again, it really seemed like they had plans for the baby. So I'm like, okay, so if this is supernatural, was the baby dying at birth like a sacrifice, or because it seemed like Lottie really wanted this baby to be born, and like,
yeah.
So I'm curious about that. How, like, again, if there isn't a supernatural thing, then clear cut, I guess it doesn't really matter. But if it is supernatural, like, what the fuck did it want with the baby?
Also, because this is a good thing to bring up, is this going to also cause division in the cult again? Because obviously they just did this ritual and then the baby didn't make it type of thing. So, like, is everyone going to say, like...
Yeah, because before I had that argument with Mari, again, where I had that dream where I put up a fucking whiteboard to say all the reasons she sucked. A big thing with Mari was, like, complaining that, like, like Natalie, the reason they don't have food is because Natalie isn't like praying.
Yeah.
Before they go up to hunt. So now Natalie and like Ben and Shauna have like ammo against Lottie. It's like, oh, okay. Well, guess what? We did your stupid prayer and it didn't fucking work.
Yeah. Or like the opposite, where some of them convert away from Lottie, be like, we just did this prayer, and it didn't work. Honestly, this can be how you can make Travis's thing work too, because he could say, like, I actually went with it, I did this, and now like...
And like nothing works, so, I guess it's all bullshit.
Yeah. And he can make...
Or, Van, we're going to get to it, but like Van, modern day, just thinks Lottie's a psycho.
Yeah.
So, maybe this is what gets Van to kind of drift away from Lottie.
But yeah, so... I feel like we got a lot of answers and a lot of questions from this episode in the past and everything like that, which is really good. We'll see what the show does with it. They might do a lot of nothing. They might follow up.
Yeah, but like it's solid. Like I feel like with the worst episodes of the show, it feels like nothing happens, and then it'll just like end on a cliffhanger to be like, oh, what's gonna happen next time? It feels like obviously this ends on like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now that Shauna she lost her kid. But like the episode itself was solid, you know.
Yeah.
But like it didn't have to be like, oh, what's gonna happen next time to be good, you know. Like it just like it was good. I enjoyed, you know, the whole plot of the episode basically.
And I feel like the thing I liked about the past too is, even though it was just centered around Shauna, like the world, like everyone's lives in that moment didn't stop. Like Misty still was like upset about Crystal. Ben was still like,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
they did a good job of like, the other characters have their own stuff going on, but they kind of end up intersecting with the main. Which again, it's what I'm hoping the next 3 episodes do in the present day.
Because we've had we've had conversation about that with you know, LVB, where sometimes we feel like if Church just actually did die legit, I think the show would just stop pretty much, type of thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like he's the only thing moving the plot forward.
Yeah. I mean, season 9, I think, might be the biggest example of that, honestly. So.
Well, yeah, because it's like 99% only Church in the present, and then like at the very end, it's like the other characters.
We don't get to see anything that they do, like off screen or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the present. Yeah.
So I'll start off with Thais and Van. So continuing off where last time ended, the lady in the tree, the lady who is occasionally in the tree but not usually in the tree, made out with Van and was like, "We're not supposed to be here." Then it's the next morning, and again Thaisa walks out and it's like, "Hey, I fell asleep. Why didn't you wake me up?" So again, remember how I said last time? It's crazy how people will just like say something like really like a riddle, and then people just won't follow up on it.
Yeah, this happened here, I guess.
Literally that. Like Thaisa said that, and Van was like, "I have no further questions. Carry on."
Yeah.
Like I guess I'm not gonna say anything to you. Okay.
I kind of wish Van would have said like, "It's not good to wake up someone while they're sleepwalking," because it isn't. So.
I don't think if I were Van, I would be like, "I have so many questions." Or you know, last episode when Ben, you know, when Javi talked for the first time, said she, and Ben was like, "I guess I'm not going to continue this conversation. I guess I will let you walk off. And I will not question you any further."
Meanwhile, I think Church sometimes wishes he did that with Caboose half the time, type of thing, where he just stops, type of thing.
Yeah, he's like, "You know what, fuck it, I give up." Yeah, but I'm just like, the show does it a lot, so that's why I'm kind of making fun of it here, because you know that's a big thing here is Thaisa, like Van's pretty upfront with Thaisa, like, your like alternate personality like tried to make out with me and said something about you know, like we're not supposed to be here, and then they spend the next couple minutes kind of like trying to figure out what that means. And I'm like, Van, you know, if you like asked her a couple more questions, you might have been able to fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
What she meant. If you like maybe ask 1 or 2 more questions. And then Thaisa was a little shitty here because she's like, do you think it means like me and you? And then Van's like, no, Thaisa, there is no me and you anymore. You're married.
Right.
Thaisa's like, oh, right, I'm sorry. Like, we already talked about how once Shauna and Thaisa were having that conversation in season 1, how Thaisa said like Simone doesn't like excite her anymore.
I remember I did a big rant about that too. So
yeah, and here I'm like, Thaisa, you nearly killed Simone. She's in the hospital on life support because you almost fucking murdered her. Are you legit trying to like hook up with Van? Like right now? Like really?
Yeah. This makes me kind of want Simone to live even more, type of thing. And like, you know, because like it would be a good like thing to get like brought up, like your wife's on life support, you're trying to hit on somebody, type of thing. So
yeah, but it's also like it feels like, well, I don't know, because last episode Van was like, actually, yeah, so Thaisa was like, you know, I'm hurting all the people I love. I can't ask you for help, Van. So I feel like here it should be the reverse, where maybe like Van was kind of like being like, oh, do you think your personality meant like me and you like together? And Thais was like, no, you're married, or like,
yeah,
it should have been the reverse.
Yeah, definitely.
It really should have been the reverse, where Van's kind of the one talking about us, and Thais is the one kind of like trying to shut that down.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Thais just came off really shitty here, like trying to like basically flirting with Van.
You know what's weird, Thais? I think we've talked about this before. I think Thais is a character we really want to like, but the writers just really fuck her up so bad sometimes, type of thing. Like,
yeah, and keep in mind, this is a very minor thing, but like, it says a lot about Thaisa. Where again, it's not even just that she's married; it's that your wife is in the hospital because of you.
Yeah,
and then now you're flirting with Van. It's like, dude, really?
Right, definitely.
But yeah, besides that implication, I still like the scene overall. They're kind of like questioning, like, okay, what can we do about this? And Thaisa is kind of again getting a little nosy, where she's like, "Hey, listen, I went through your trash. I saw like all the bills. Like, you're not going to be like, what are you doing? Like, obviously this old VHS store isn't enough to like, keep you afloat."
Yeah.
And then I do like this because again, I was upset that like it should have been the reverse. But I do like, if they are going to do this, where Thais is the one like wanting to get close to Van, and Van's like shutting her out. They're doing a good job with Van for that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Where she is like, she seems, because last episode I was disappointed where I was like, oh, I'm interested to see what happened between them because they broke up. But, like, I was disappointed because like it seems like they're on fairly good terms. Here we're getting a bit more of that, like they're working with each other, but Van seems like kind of hurt, Like it seems like a bit more of like old wounds kind of thing.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because
I'm a bit more interested in how they broke up again.
Yeah,
because it seems like it was a bit messy.
Which is kind of weird because there's an episode in season 2 called Old Wounds, and it seems like this episode did a better job of that.
It should have been Old Wounds. Yeah.
I will say this. Because I remember last episode, I said present day Van was pretty disappointed. I thought that, now that I've seen him before, but like, this is definitely a better usage, and I think present day Van's like much better this episode than like last episode and all that stuff. So
no, I agree. That's what I was saying. I think they're doing a really good job with Van. How she's being like kind of snippy at Thaisa, like she's obviously like she cares about Thaisa and wants to help her, but she's also kind of like throwing shade at her occasionally.
Yeah.
But Van's kind of like, hey, listen, make yourselves Thaisa kind of picks up on that, like Van is getting like a little hostile towards her. So Thaisa's like, hey, listen, maybe I should just go. And Van, because of what she said last night, I'm like, listen, I'm really mad at you, but like, of course I'm gonna help you. Van is kind of continuing that of like, all right, let's just make yourself useful and like, sort out some movies.
Yeah.
I like that, kind of giving Thaisa like, something to do while she's there, so Thaisa doesn't feel like she needs to leave.
Plus, I like that she's not like just sitting around doing shit. Because I remember like a big thing we praised Breaking Bad season 4 for was even though Hank like towards the end was in his wheelchair and stuff, he wasn't just sitting around like not doing anything.
Yeah, he was still doing good work. He was still getting involved with the plot. Yeah. So, but basically, at some point, just presumably same day, Misty gives her a call. And Misty is at a certain location, and that is what causes well, at first I like how Thaisa says like, Misty, I don't have time for you right now.
Yeah, I like that.
But then once Misty brings up Lottie, she brings up what happened last episode, basically, where like Natalie is with Lottie, and Lottie has like a mental health cult thing.
Yeah.
And this piques Thaisa's interest, and she kind of like looks at Dan and is like, okay, listen, we're gonna go check this out. I like how Misty called to be like, we gotta shut this down. But Thaisa and Shauna are like, oh, we should go for a while because we're like fucked up mentally. And
well, Shauna doesn't even know that this is a cult when she gets told about this originally because you'll talk about it.
Well, I think Shauna like thinks something's up with it because she's like, Shauna's body, isn't she like in a psych ward?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But
I think Shauna's. And at the end of the episode, when we see Shauna, she like kind of crosses her arms and is like looks pissed.
Yeah, I do like this, and it shows that the plots are going to intersect, and I like that the plots intersect more naturally this time. I feel like you said last episode, it didn't really feel that natural because obviously, like Shauna murdered Adam, and then they like mentioned, oh, he's the blackmailer, so like it made like everybody go over there and like investigate. And there was, if you're in hindsight, we didn't really talk about this. There's really no reason for Thaisa to go there because she like just won state senate and everything like that. Like you could have cut Thaisa out of there if you think
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
you could. Yeah, the only thing Tyson did is like Misty had a conversation with Tyson, I guess.
Yeah.
And like Tyson was involved in the blackmailing thing, so Shauna had to tell her that Adam was the blackmailer.
But like that's like could have just gone on to a nice could have gone to a nice restaurant and stuff, you know, on the Senate type of thing, on the state, you know, it's would have been nice. Yeah. So I like that this episode actually did a better job where like when they're at, because you know when the characters all intersect, it's like more natural, and it's like some of it's because of like a miscommunication type of thing and all that stuff. So it's like,
yeah, I'm also really glad it just like happened sooner. Again, I wish it happened a bit earlier than this, but it's like, okay, we're 2/3 through the season. We got another 3 episodes to have the main characters like together and interact. I'm fine with that.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely okay with that. And like you said, I'm glad that like it happens pretty naturally here.
Yeah.
Where obviously Misty would go and call Tyson and Shauna about this. Well, you know, Shauna's been ignoring Misty's calls, so Misty got a hold of Tyson, and Tyson got a call of Shauna.
Yep. Well, to be fair too, because you'll talk about this when you do the Misty plot line. Misty also didn't use her phone that she's been typically using. She used like the cult's like phone line.
Right. So that's why Tyson picked up. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, the Thaís nicer than me. If I heard Misty's voice, I didn't want to talk to her. I'd be hanging up immediately. So she's nicer than me. So.
But yeah, Tyson and Van end up driving to this cult location, and they talk a bit on the road. This is better than what happened with Misty and Elijah Wood last episode, where it felt just kind of like filler until they stumbled across the cult, kind of continuing on more on like catching up to what Van's been doing.
Yeah.
He's just kind of asking Van, if she's seeing anybody now. And I like this a bit more, where it doesn't come off across as like Tyson wanting to hit on Van. It comes off as like Tyson is just like she cares about Van and wants to make sure that she's like happy.
Yeah, I like that. So
like it feels like she's not asking about her dating life to like be like, hey, you single? It feels like, hey, you talking to anybody? How's life? I want to make sure you're okay.
And this was kind of more natural than like to get to know Van's day-to-day life than like, because when we got to kind of know Elijah Wood's day-to-day life, that kind of felt forced. Like we didn't really need to. It felt like they just wanted to know it just to fill up screen time type of thing.
That's what I was saying. This one did a lot better. Where Van, I like I like the dialogue too, where Van's like, hey, listen, I get my needs met. And Tyson's like, ew, what the fuck does that mean?
I didn't know what that meant.
Van, I was like, wait a minute. And Van's like, no, I just like, I have online dating apps. I like meet up with people sometimes. And Van's like, hey, listen, I know you're like too good for online dating, but like, I like it. It's just like, it feels like people have like known each other for a long time. Like banter.
Yeah, this feels like pretty natural too, because because obviously Thaís is a bit like, which is kind of weird because Van runs a video store, but Thaís feels like she's kind of more in touch with like the past, like doesn't really get into like any of that other stuff, like dating apps and stuff like that. And Van kind of seems, it's kind of weird. Van seems more new school, but yet she owns like a video store, and like I think has like you could tell her car's not like up to date and everything.
Yeah. Well, they even have a conversation about that because Van brings up the online dating. Thaís is like, oh please, you practically live in the past.
Yeah.
And Van's like, yeah, I live in a past where like shit didn't suck. Not the past we actually had. Which I like that because again, I think that ties into the conversation Shauna and Thaís had in season 1, where Shauna like regrets all the things she didn't do.
Yeah.
Because she isn't happy. But then Thaís is like, I basically did all the things I wanted to do, but like I still didn't end up happy. So
seems
Van kind of brings home that like.
Seems like Van's a little. She's not happy, but she's not sad either. She's in the middle, just living her life.
Yeah, I feel like a little empty. Maybe not as bad as Shauna, but like she. I don't think she's exempt because we find out she's fucking like taking pills.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's like not because she has like cancer or something.
Well, yeah.
I assume that. Hey, if it is, then I'll be up surprised.
Think about this too. Van's living in the past before Kiss This wasn't a thing when where Van's living right now.
Oh, I wish I knew that past.
All you had to do was not watch Kiss This. That's all you had to do. So, and now you wrap me. Now you put a Shauna with Callie for me. You wrap me into that now type of in that world type of thing now with the Kiss This world.
Well, listen, that's what my friend did to me. He fucking introduced me to Kiss It. It's like the curse that keeps on. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I
gotta give it to somebody.
No, you gotta get your friends to watch Kiss This.
It's a disease. I don't know which one though.
Misery Loves Company.
That anime. When we review that anime now, my first impressions of that anime is still gonna be that the poster was in Kiss This, and that's all your fault. That's all your fault.
Yeah, I know it's such a good one, but it's like, oh damn it, it's fucking posters and Kiss This. And the diseases.
And from now on, that's going to be my first impression of that, and it's kind of your fault. It's pretty much your fault.
I know, right? Hey guys, welcome to our next episode of the Kiss This spinoff. Hey, it's like, God damn it.
I might say that too.
Yeah. But yeah. So they end up getting to the cult. And I do like how Van is like, listen, I'm not going in there. Also, on the way there. Van is like, listen, I don't feel like staying at Schizo Lottie's cult.
Yeah.
So basically, it's interesting how now Thaisa seems to be interested in like going to Lottie and like staying there for a while to deal with her mental health. But like Van is like, nah, I don't want anything to do with Lottie. Fuck that.
Yeah, especially because in the past, it's been the reverse.
Yeah. So that makes me interested. I think with Thaisa, because, a big thing is like for years, they haven't been able to talk to anybody about what happened out there. But it's like, oh shit, Lottie is running a mental health place. Well, Lottie's like the only person we could ever talk to about what happened out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I think we talked about in episode 1 with Natalie. She was at rehab for weeks, but she never talked about what happened in the woods.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big reason why she kind of like, all these rehabs never really worked for her. It's because it's like, well, she can't even like address a lot of the issues.
But unfortunately for them, though, Lottie used up her one time. She's gonna have a conversation with someone telling Natalie about.
I know. She used her one. I'm gonna have a fucking normal conversation for the decade. So now they gotta wait another 10 years.
It'd be funny too if you're gonna talk about that scene when they all go there. They have this big speech, and Lottie's just like, yeah, I kind of used up my one conversation for the decade, so you're gonna have to come back.
Oh,
like
if they do what they did last time, where they like cut to like a day later, next episode, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I don't remember if they do that or not. So,
because again, you know what they did with Natalie, where she's like, I have a message from Travis, and then it cuts to like the next day. It's like, what the fuck did you guys do for the last couple hours? Same thing here, where it's like, okay, they all come face to face with Lottie. If they like jump cut, I'm gonna be like, so what happened?
Right. Yeah, but continue.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happened with Van and Lottie in the past. Again, I'm hoping they do something with that.
Yeah.
But they end up deciding to call Shauna. They're like, oh yeah, shit, right, we should let Shauna know what's up with this. I'm kind of wondering what's up with the other YellowJackets, because remember, there's supposed to be other YellowJackets. Like Misty points out that she's like kept tabs on everybody.
Oh no! Come on!
And like remember that reporter mentioned that she's like going to visit all the YellowJackets. So I get why only like Thaisa, Natalie, and Shauna were involved with the blackmailer in season 1, because Jeff only messaged like those 3.
Damn, no.
Or only those 2. So I'm kind of like, it's a little weird that like Thaisa isn't calling any of the other survivors.
Oh no. I think you can tell I don't want there to be no more survivors. Like, no, like this plane crash is supposed to be.
I don't either. I'm kind of like, they've implied that there are other survivors, so it's a little weird that nobody else is like, they're not calling anybody else.
Because there shouldn't be any more. Like,
I hope there aren't any more. I hope it's only these fuckers who lived.
If it's Molly, I'm done. I'm not gonna watch it.
If Mari of all people fucking lived and like Ben died, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think we stop watching the show if Molly lives.
I'd be like, no.
You know, they're gonna post some near shit in like Death Note where like.
I know. He's like, he's like one of the only characters who fucking lived, and I wanted him to die more than anything.
No, like the movie. Well, like we were happy Nia wasn't in it, and they saved him.
All right, and then they slipped it in at the very end. It's like, he was in it the whole time, and we never knew.
Yeah. I know. I think you. I like how you asked that question. Like you wanted me to like give input, and my input was like, no, I don't want any more survivors. Like, please, like.
Yeah, I just thought about that now, where I'm like, obviously Taissa and Shauna are like close friends, so it makes sense Taissa would call Shauna.
Yeah.
I'm just a little surprised that, like, again, if like this is such a big deal, I'm a little surprised. Nope, she's not calling anybody else if there are other survivors.
Right.
Which again, hey, it could be that there aren't any other survivors, but it seems like they've implied it before. So I'm a little, But Thais ends up calling, and Jeff is the one who picks up the phone because Shauna's in the middle of her own plot. And Thais is like, okay, so well, I like how she's kind of looking at Van, being like, okay, what do I tell him? And then she just ends up telling him like the entire truth. She's like, so Lottie Matthews is running a mental health place in New York, and we're going there, and she should go there too.
Yeah, I like that. I like this too because
she's like looking at Van of like, what should I say? And Van's like, oh.
I kind of like this.
So she just ends up telling Jeff like the truth. Like I thought she was gonna come up with like a lie.
Yeah.
But no, she just ends up telling him exactly what happened.
But I like this because it's like she doesn't really give like she tells her the truth, but not the full truth because she doesn't mention like it's a cult.
Literally a game of telephone. Like you said, Shauna doesn't really know it's like a cult. She just knows Lottie's running like a place nearby. And
also, they treated this pretty well because like from their perspective, they don't know that Jeff knows everything that happened in the plane crash. So like they think Jeff is completely unknown. So like they're having this conversation like with Jeff, thinking, wait, we don't want to mention like the stuff with the plane crash and stuff. So I like that.
Right, when Jeff already knows all that, yeah.
And they kind of took the RVB method where like, the character's not there, they don't know, except this is not the case. Like they think they think he doesn't.
You reminded me in season 7 when Donut was having a conversation with the meta, and then Simmons walks in, and he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that if just fucking Jeff just like walks in during like a very important conversation with the Woods, and he's like, "Fuck, no, I'm leaving." Bye.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. That scene with Donut in the meta, I think I watch that a lot because it's so great. Like
that's one of the funniest moments. Definitely, I think the funniest moment in the season.
I think what makes that scene better too is I love that it comes back because like, Simmons calls out Donut for not helping him type of thing when he was being like shot.
Yeah, and Donut's like, "Oh, I thought that was just like a little routine that you guys had, We
haven't talked about this.
Like, yeah, you fucking great.
I love the fact too. He went after Simmons. Like he left Donut alone too, and like went right after Simmons.
I remember you, Dick. I'm fucking killing you. Yeah, he just left Donut alone. He's like, I'm killing Simmons.
And the man did nothing to Simmons. Not Simmons. Donut. He did absolutely nothing to Donut. Like he just let Donut.
I love that.
So
yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Reminds me how the fourth god is like, it seems to be like messing with Taissa and Lottie, but like it's just leaving Misty alone. Like Misty is like, the fourth god is like, should I fuck with Misty? Nah, she's too crazy. I don't want to deal with Misty.
I like to think there'd be like a scene where like when Travis is like killing himself and he's having like a conversation with the forest guard, like Misty who would be a good person for this? Because it wouldn't be Natalie. Like Van comes in there and she's just like, oh fuck, like welcome to the neighborhood, see ya type of thing. Like
I would love yeah. Oh god, imagine if anybody else walked in while Travis was hanging himself and Lottie was just standing there. They'd be like, what the fuck?
Be awesome.
Yeah. Imagine Natalie and Misty get there a couple hours earlier. And they just see all that happening, and they're like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but
all that got started.
That's pretty much it for Taissa and Van's plot until we get to the very end where the plots intersect. Probably the shortest one of the episode, which again, I think it's kind of just continuing where last episode left off, but in a good way. Again, I'm kind of annoyed that like Van didn't ask any more questions from the lady who is sometimes in the tree.
Yeah, I would have liked.
Like where he just made out with her, dropped the riddle, and then just like fucked off.
Yeah.
Because again, they spend like a couple minutes like wondering what it meant.
Right. What are you more pissed about, that or the Ben Harvey thing that happened? Where, like...
Oh, Ben and Harvey. Like you said, Ben has the excuse of like, okay, well, she doesn't want to wake up Taissa because you're not supposed to wake up somebody who's sleepwalking. But like Ben has no excuse.
Yeah.
But I do like how because they're questioning like what did it mean? Like we're not supposed to be here. Taissa is kind of thinking like, oh, maybe like this personality means like I should be going to Lottie because Lottie has a scene in the episode where she's talking to her therapist and she's like questioning like what does it mean that like Natalie and Misty and Travis are all and re-entering my life like once after for the first time in so long.
Yep.
So that was kind of a nice the plot lines like are kind of like connecting. Where Lottie's questioning what it means that like everybody's like coming to her, and Taissa is like being like, "Oh, my personality maybe it wants me to go see Lottie."
A big thing I'll mention too from that therapist scene. It's gonna sound like a lot. We didn't see the like. We only saw like the.
I was gonna bring that up where I'm like I'm wondering if that was even real.
Yeah, because we didn't see the therapist like. We just saw like her. It was like the camera was like in the position where she was type of thing. So.
Yeah. And also, Lottie was like talking about like the gods and stuff, and I feel like Lottie wouldn't bring that up to somebody, like who was involved. Because when we saw our last therapy scene, she was being pretty vague.
Mm-hmm.
She was just talking about like her schizophrenia. So here, she was giving a lot more detail.
Yep. So, I won't talk about that. I won't talk about that because. There's some things that are gonna come. They're gonna be weird when we come back to that. So we'll talk. It's kind of like the text flashback that we had type of thing. So.
We're like, is it a real therapy session? Can you tell me that much?
I'm not gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say just watch the next episode.
Yeah. But yeah. I like aside from I think it's like Dan like. Fucking question Taissa more. I like the plot line pretty much. And again, it was a little scummy of Taissa to just like try kind of hitting on Van low-key.
Yeah.
But like, aside from that, I really like this plot line from them.
The Lottie.
And then moving on.
The Lottie thing I was kind of whatever about because as you know, I'm not the biggest present day Lottie fan type of. Not like the levels of hate.
I was going to bring up Lottie when I talk about Natalie and Misty.
Yeah, but well, you just talked about that therapist scene, so I'm saying I didn't love the thing.
Oh, I was going to go into more detail about
Oh, okay. So let's continue.
Yep. So where Misty left off is she, is joining the cult, and then she has to give up her phone because, again, as we kind of established earlier, the cult doesn't want you getting like communicating with like outside people or like people in your life.
Yeah.
And Misty is like, it seems like she wants to like. Well, I think she wants to have her phone on her in case anything happens, so she can have a way to like call people.
Yeah.
And as we find out, she ends up having the call Taissa on like their phone. So I think she wanted her phone to like give them a call if she needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Which ended up working out for her because again, like you said, they probably would have kept ignoring her calls if it was from Misty's phone.
It is kind of weird that like Misty was just allowed though to go down there and like make a phone call like without being like.
Well, she was the only in that room, so I'm thinking Misty like sneak off to go use a phone.
But as you saw with Natalie, she couldn't even sneak off to go into that room without like everyone like.
Right, but it was a little weird how Misty was able to get away so easily, but Natalie had to like spend 3 episodes being like, "Fuck it, I can't even firm the goddamn keyhole."
The beauty of no cameras, just try not to be around them. I guess that's the lesson.
Yeah, but I think it's also implying that like Misty's getting calls from Walter because the guy who was taking her phone brings up that she was getting a lot of texts from Elijah Wood. She's calling her in between recording scenes for Spy Kids 3. Scenes. The one scene he's in Spy Kids 3.
Yeah,
you haven't even seen Spy Kids 3, so that's funny.
Yeah.
He's in one scene where he fucking shows up, he's a badass, and he dies immediately.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were talking about too. Like, damn, this big scene that like, that I was built up to be, and they just killed me off like one scene later. I've been in more scenes in this show, type of thing. So maybe that's what they're talking about.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm still amazed you haven't seen that movie. Have you seen Spy Kids 2?
Yeah. I like I said, I've seen some of Spy Kids 3, but not all. Because I think it was one of those, like, well, one, you didn't have, I don't think you had that movie. And I think it's one of those, like, directly, like, Disney Channel type of movies that, like, no one watched type of thing. So. Because I think.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I watched those movies all the time as a kid, so I was just surprised you didn't.
Maybe it wasn't.
And again, you watched more Disney than I did.
Maybe too, it wasn't out yet. Like when you were watching them too, like it was like not out yet. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it'd be a directly Disney Channel film though, because if Elijah Wood, you're not gonna put in Elijah Wood for something like that. So that doesn't even make. Then again, he's in one.
Well, again, like I said, he was in fucking one scene and he just dies immediately. So if they did that to him, then you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah. While Misty is getting checked in, Lottie shows up. I don't know. Did she know Misty was there? Because she seemed surprised when she saw Misty. So was Lottie just happening to like walk by when Misty was checking in?
Yeah, I guess so. That's kind of that's a little coincidental. So
yeah,
because this is a big place.
But,
it's not like
yeah, I mean it's a whole compound. I'm just like, okay, what are the odds?
Because that's why I'm happy. Like Natalie and Misty.
You see, like really just walking in. What are the odds that Misty ran into her like literally as she's walking into the building? You know?
Yeah, because I think they handled the Natalie Misty stuff better. Where like they didn't see each other for like a whole day. It wasn't random because it seems like everybody eats like breakfast or like their meals all at the same time and everything like that.
Yeah, that I can buy. But yeah, Lottie tells her little minions to leave them. She sounds like such a super villain. Like, leave us.
Yeah.
But I like how he's immediately questioning her, like, you kidnapped Natalie, and like and like this whole place just reeks of cult. So now that she's saying she doesn't want to leave, I'm a little suspicious of it. And Lottie like kind of seems like she's getting a headache. She kind of like is like brushing her forehead, and then she just kind of says like, "Hey, Misty, do you want to stay a while?" Like she doesn't even like argue with Misty. She's just like, "Hey, do you want to stay?" And even Misty is like weird.
Yeah, I did like.
Yeah, it seems like Lottie is just like it's interesting. Is again, Thaisa, Natalie, and Shauna do not want to deal with Misty. But with Lottie, she seems not happy to see her. But like I get like we're gonna talk about in the therapist scene. She seems to kind of being like, "Okay, Misty, you're here for a reason."
Yeah, is it a good reason? We'll find out. Could be a bad reason.
But Lottie is having a therapist session, and again, like you said, they pan it where like we don't see the therapist, and then we just kind of like slowly, as the scene goes on, like zoom more and more onto Lottie.
Yeah.
And Lottie is schizophrenic, and Lottie even points out like, "Thank you for seeing me in such short notice." And last time we had the therapy session, we talked about how that therapist was like not her usual therapist. She like her usual therapist was just like on vacation, so like she took over for her.
Yeah. No, I think him. That was a guy that originally saw her.
Right, but I'm saying like it's the it's like the girl therapist.
Yeah.
Like we can hear her voice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how much time has passed? Because again, I feel like this would have to be like very shortly after the previous visit. So like. I wonder if this therapist could like squeeze her in, and also like if there is a bit of a time jump, then her usual male therapist should be back by then.
Yeah, that's one thing about the present. They don't really do a good job telling us like how much time goes by.
Yeah.
And there's little ways they
but
can.
Again, the way this whole thing is shot, and we don't even see the therapist, and with what Lottie says here, this makes me think this isn't even like real.
Yeah, I think. There's little ways in the present. Like I remember in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, little ways they would tell us about time going by, as they would use like real life events that like happen. Be like, oh, okay, so this is clearly some time has went by and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of tough to do that in YellowJackets because, again, it was filmed after the pandemic, and in the YellowJackets world, I guess a pandemic never happened because everyone just walks around fine, and there was no pandemic. Good for them.
I imagine all these cult teams, like they're just having masks on.
Yeah. That'd be odd. I mean, technically, they would be following COVID protocols because, so that's good for them.
Do you think Lottie would think that COVID is like the like because of the tree god?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Lottie's talking to her therapist, and she's talking about how like it's not a coincidence that like Travis, Natalie, and Misty have all like re-entered our life in such quick succession, and like my visions are coming back, and how she was thinking about how basically when she got back, I think she got convinced that like she wasn't like a prophet. She really is just schizophrenic. Because remember, like she thought she was schizophrenic, but then like Jesus girl kind of told her like, no, you're like seeing visions. But it seems like when she got back, she was thinking like, no, I am schizophrenic. But now she's thinking like, maybe this proves that like all this time I thought I was the problem, or like but like maybe I am really like seeing like actual vision, and like the problem wasn't with me, and then because of what Natalie said to her last episode, she's kind of thinking like, she's taking what Travis said to heart, where they went out there and there was something out there with them, and when we got back, we were all hoping we could kind of just put that behind us, but like whatever was out there, it's inside of us, and it's inside of me.
Yeah, I like this. This scene for the most part was pretty decent. Again, I'm still not the biggest present day Lottie fan. I guess the best comparison I can make to like Lottie is if like the past director of Project Freelancer, I must say the past president of Project Freelancer, but like if he was like this big badass and then he was like this like in the present type of thing, I'd be like, wow, that's disappointing. They come.
Lottie comes off as super like mysterious and creepy, but here she seems like, like we talked about last time. It's like we don't really know what the writers want to do with Lottie. We don't know if they want to make her like kind of like tragic and like on the verge of collapsing, or if she really is like this like mastermind.
And I wanted the mastermind one, honestly, and I didn't get it. So
like they really set up season 1 like she's like a villain. But here they're not really doing that.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, you can make a villain like sympathetic. Like, I mean, the whole reason the director is a villain is because like he lost his wife.
Yeah.
And like he couldn't get over it, so you can make villains sympathetic.
Gus.
And like every villain in Red vs. Blue is like a victim of the director when you think about it.
Yeah, Gus in Breaking Bad, like he lost.
Oh yeah, he's very sympathetic. Yeah, he like he's doing a lot of what he's doing out of revenge because he lost like what's implied to be his lover.
Yep.
Or even if they don't confirm that it's like his best friend or whatever, somebody important to him.
Yep.
And did they? I guess you finished Better Call Saul. Do they ever like touch on that? Do they ever like confirm that Gus is gay or?
Kind of.
Okay. I guess we'll get to that when we get to
there's
it.
There's a scene that like where
implies it.
Implies it, but like Gus never wants to get close to anyone because of all this stuff he's wrapped up in. Like it's like implied like he doesn't want to like put anyone like close to him because of what happened to Max and everything like that. But it's implied that they have like not a romantical link, but they would like Gus would be with him if he wasn't wrapped up in this Salamanca business and everything.
Because again, then we only had like one scene with Max and Breaking Bad, but like the vibe I got was that like and again Hector kept like joking that like they were lovers or something, like like they're not the Salamanca, they're the instead of like Los Polos brothers, they're like the Los Polos like lovers or something.
There's other. Obviously too, Walter White. I know he doesn't start off as a villain, but the whole reason he gets into what we meant to.
Well, Walter White and Light Yagami. Those are good ones. Like they start off like likable and then they just become psychos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like they're dropping the ball a bit on like, which sucks too because again I love it when we get like seeing like a character's downfall, like them becoming a villain.
Yeah.
Or the reverse redemption. I love Zuko and Avatar where we see him turn from villain to hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean Azula like is very villainous, but you could kind of see why she's so villainous because.
Oh yeah, like last couple episodes do a really good job of like showing that like she's, like even though like she was like her dad's favorite, like that didn't mean she like had it better than Zuko.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Avatar did such a good job of the villains. I mean, we had a whole fucking discussion with Vlad and Danny Phantom, Kevin and Ben 10.
Yeah, but they kind of screw up Vlad.
In those reviews. We're going to do like a whole video on, that once we get the Blue Spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big part of those episode discussions.
I mean, Danny kind of fucks up Vlad's a little bit, though, so.
Yeah, but like for the first 2 seasons, they did a good job with that. But yeah, season 3 dropped the ball.
Yeah.
We're going off tangent a little bit, but I think the point just is a lot of shows that we've talked about do a better job with like making a villain not necessarily like redeemed, but like sympathetic and understandable, while still making them a villain.
I mean, not even just shows. Samuel L. Jackson, his character in what's that movie called? Not Shane, but the one that like, The Negotiator. He becomes villainous, but like it's reasonable why he is a villain because he gets like.
Oh yeah, he ends up taking people hostage. Yeah, and at the end they give him his fucking badge. Like, no, bitch, you're going to fucking jail still. Like we're still arresting you. Like obviously.
I think that was like
you didn't commit the first crime, but you still give people hostage.
I still remember we did that video. I think that's the first occasion where we've done a video, we viewed something, and we didn't realize, like, and I was like, wait, but he should still go to jail, like, anyways. Like, we didn't talk about it all, like, before the video or anything.
Yeah, and then we get to the van, and we're like, wait a minute, after breaking it all down, that's fucking stupid. He should absolutely still go to jail.
Yeah, so.
Good times. We gotta redo that video sometime, because that one wasn't one of our best ones.
No, and plus, too, we got these good production values now and everything like that, so.
But yeah, Lottie is. I was gonna say she's interesting, but I'm like, I think the problem is she's not really that interesting.
Yeah, not really. And again, it just doesn't help.
Lottie this episode until the very end. Again, she was just kind of like linked to Misty's plot. She didn't even really interact with Natalie this episode, which is surprising considering you figured she would after last episode.
I mean, she used up her one conversation. What do you want me to say? Like,
yeah. She can't have a normal conversation for.
I love it. I love it too. She has these conversations, but doesn't make sure that the people are like okay afterwards. So, like, yeah, we had them go figure it out type of thing. Like we talked about this. Like,
yeah, she just had this like deep emotional conversation with Natalie, and then we see Natalie is clearly not taking it well because Natalie, for some fucking reason, has a gun.
Yeah.
How did she? Why is there a gun nearby that Natalie could get?
Especially too, because a lot of people like. Not just Natalie, but a lot of these people have suicide issues when they go.
I was saying, there's a lot of suicidal people here.
Yeah.
So it's like, why in general?
Don't know.
It really just feels like, oh, we want to have a scene where Natalie's like shooting. It's like, oh, okay, how does she get a gun? Oh, just a gun. Oh. But poor girl ends up hearing the gunshots, and like when she's looking for Natalie. And goes to check on Natalie, and Natalie's just like taking pot shots at like things she set up. I do like this because obviously one of her first her and Travis when they the reason they started hunting together is because they had that shooting competition.
Mm-hmm.
So after that big revelation about Travis, I can see why she's kind of like doing that.
Mm-hmm. And she's not doing well. And she's not doing well. Like she's missing. I mean, then again, I don't know I don't know the last time Natalie's really held a gun before seasons 1 and 2 of YellowJackets. But like she's like, this is probably the one time where Church would win a shootout with someone. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, Church would like in season 6, he would like miss, but it would like bounce all around and then hit the target.
It'd be awesome too, because Natalie's going through this revelation, and then Church would be like right next to her, be like, "Whoa, I actually did something," type of thing, and
I was like, it didn't count because he didn't call it.
yeah. Well, Natalie's going through this breakdown. The Church can be like, "Wait a minute, maybe I can't. Maybe this isn't the time to be." Like the Church would be like, "Scrap! I can't even celebrate this because you're having a breakdown right now.
Because you're having a whole meltdown." Yeah. Like when Church missed in the time loop, he's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna go live in a cave." Church is like, "Hey, Natalie, listen, you should go live in a cave for a while. Trust me, it's not worth it."
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
that was a low blow. George was being tortured there, man. Come on, like that was a low.
Yeah, I know, he really was. Yeah, it's like fucked up when you think about it. It's a really funny moment, kind of somber when you think about it in hindsight.
What were you thinking about? By the way, when we were reviewing that episode, what were you thinking when like we were reviewing it and I was like laughing, having a grand old time about it? I bet you were thinking like, "Oh, Owen, wait till you find out what was really going on here."
I was like, "Wait till you find out Gamma's secretly like Church's fragment, and he's like torturing him." It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's so cold.
Worst part is, again, it's like in Church. This is Church's like second time getting tortured by Gamma. He doesn't even remember it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but
Gamma's having a great time, like laughing about it. Like he's probably like,
yeah, Gamma's just fucking laughing it up. Like, Church is so stupid, he doesn't even know. Yeah. So, speaking of somber, I do like this from Natalie, where she's kind of talking about how she was pinning all the blame on Lauren for what happened with Travis, but now she kind of, because of what she knows about Travis now, she's putting the blame on her.
yeah,
That she's poisoned, like she just kind of ruins everybody she gets close to. Which again, because it hasn't been brought up in so long, but because of what happened with her dad, where her dad like tripped and like shot himself in the head because they were having an argument.
yeah,
And of course, like she kind of ruined her relationship with Kevin. I can kind of see, again, I feel like aside from just Travis, it's like a build-up of like several things. Where she just like, I ruin everything.
Weirdly enough, I mean, kind of Shauna's life, because Shauna would have even known about a blackmailer if like Natalie and Taissa didn't like tell her about it and everything like that. Like Shauna, I mean, she would have probably still end up seeing Adam, but the whole reason Shauna murders Adam is because she thought he was the blackmailer. But if Shauna didn't get roped into it, she probably never would have known about a blackmailer and all that stuff.
Yeah, so this whole plotline with Shauna wouldn't even happen, yeah. That is funny when you think about it, yeah.
Well, it makes you wonder. Yeah. Kind of weird. Like, what would Shauna have done that whole season if she never knew about a blackmailer? Just see Adam, I guess? I don't know. And then that's it? Like...
That was basically already her plot until like the very end. So it's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Except the only difference is season 2 is actually making Shauna interesting. So Shauna would just continue to be boring.
So you know what? I'm going to take that back. Maybe Natalie did some...
good job, Natalie. Good job, Natalie. You made Shauna interesting.
Yeah, good job.
Took a while. But I do like how Fork Girl is now kind of like trying to comfort Natalie and be like, hey, listen, your friend had like issues, and like, that's not on anybody else, like whatever you said to him, like you didn't cause him to kill himself, basically.
Yeah.
Like, that was already inside of him. But that was a really poor choice of words, because obviously she doesn't know about like what they phrased it last time about like the darkness that's in all of them.
Yeah.
Because of what she said of like that was just in him already, like he didn't do anything to him. But then Natalie says like, no, like what's in him is in me too.
Yep.
But then I do like how Fork Girl is kind of like continuing to check on her, where she ends up giving her her fish, and like at least for the day, because I do like that. I think that whole subplot was kind of forced, where they just like had the little side mission to go see her mom. But I do like, even though that episode kind of was whatever, I do like that they're kind of continuing it in an interesting way. Where
yeah, I guess so.
Natalie kind of reassured Fork Girl of like, hey, listen, maybe one day you're not going to be mentally able to take care of the fish, but like at least you can do it for today, and that's enough. Yeah, I don't really like that message, where you probably shouldn't say that to a suicidal person. Because what if tomorrow is a really shitty day?
Right.
Maybe don't take it day by day. But I do kind of like it here. It's a bit better, where they're like, hey, listen. Well, because I think she sees Natalie's in a really bad spot. And like if she's fucking around with guns and she's suicidal, not a good sign. So she's like, hey, listen, take care of my fish for now. Like she even acknowledges, like, listen, it's a temporary solution, but it's something for now, you know?
Something to give you to look forward to and all that type of stuff. So
right, again, which is I think that was the idea in the previous episode with the fish, but they just really did it in a bad way. Here was a lot better at that at doing that.
I agree.
At like conveying it.
I agree.
But yeah, Natalie, I feel like I like that Natalie's kind of like getting more interested in Pork Girl. Because before she kind of defended her against her mom, but she wasn't really that invested in her.
Right.
But now she's like, hey, listen, why did you forgive me when I stabbed you? And she just kind of says like, listen, like, well, she kind of gives advice on like, you hurt me, but like, kind of like, so what? I want to like show compassion to other people. Like, I don't want to continue with that hurting people.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
Which I think that was good advice for Natalie, because again, Natalie's thinking like, oh, I'm poison to everybody. It's like, okay, well, why don't you, try to change that then? I like that. It's kind of like not invalidating how Natalie feels, kind of telling her like, okay, maybe you've done a lot of stupid shit. Well, because another thing Natalie was saying was like, previously was to her was like, and this is probably the most Natalie's opened up about the woods. Where she's like, we did a lot of really horrible shit out there to survive, but like maybe we didn't deserve to survive. Yeah,
I like that. Like she's kind of like reflected on the time in the woods and everything like that. And
yeah. I like what Pork was saying here. She's like not invalidating that. She's not like defending her. She's like, like just try to change. Try to do better. Like I'm not going to say you were perfect before. You made mistakes, but like you can go from here.
I agree.
It's funny because I did not give a shit about Pork Girl before this, but I'm like, I'm actually kind of liking her after this episode.
Yeah, same. I think I felt the same way after I watched this episode originally. So,
and I do like this with Natalie. Where next scene, Natalie is like gonna kill the fish by like taking it out of the fish pool. It's just like, listen, buddy, trust me, you're better off. It's all just a prison anyway. Which I like that. kind of Natalie also feels imprisoned by like all of her trauma.
Yeah.
So she's like, you're better off just dying. Because obviously now that she knows Travis like killed himself and like it wasn't a murder.
Yeah.
Maybe she's kind of reflecting on maybe Travis had the right idea, but she's like sees the fish like struggling to breathe, and then she just like drops it back in. It's like, no, I can't do that.
Especially too because she's thinking like this person Forko just gave me this fish to like, I don't want to kill her fish type of thing and all that type of stuff. So.
Which I like that where because of the conversation, I feel like she doesn't want to hurt Pork Girl by killing the fish. She kind of wants to like not hurt any more people.
Yep.
And then we get one more scene with Natalie where she meets up with Misty. Before that, Misty was like hanging out with the other purple people, and one of them was crying because like I guess like their girlfriend dumped her. And I guess they're just kind of saying, oh yeah, a lot of people come here after they get dumped. I'm assuming it was dumping. Like they say, like after they like lost people.
Yeah.
I don't know if that girl like lost her mom. I'm assuming she like her girlfriend dumped her while she was there.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Because they end up talking. If this was the segue, Wood, and how the guy was like, hey, I saw a guy. He messaged you on your phone. Is that why you're here? Did you get dumped?
Elijah Wood's a better man than that, though. He knows better. So
exactly. Listen, that guy threw that ring into Mount Mordor. Okay, he is a good guy.
He's a good man.
Good man. Good elf. His character in Spy Kids 3 is called the Guy.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah. So he is such a good guy. The Guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He dies though, but it's
no, horribly. He dies horrifically. He explodes, and it's played for laughs, and nobody gives a shit when he dies. Much like Crystal, nobody gave a shit when he died.
Poor guy.
Which is funny. Yeah, poor guy. It's okay. He's a star of Lord of the Rings. But yeah, Misty lets it slip that she's like just kind of there looking for Lottie, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you know Lottie." So
no,
Natalie.
Natalie.
Oh, right, Natalie. You're right. Sorry. Well, basically, yeah, everybody's, oh my god, you know Natalie? Well, I think it's because Natalie's connected to Lottie.
Yeah.
Right, because I think it's basically like, oh shit, you know Natalie and Lottie? Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So Misty's now Mrs. Popular.
Good for her.
Well, actually, hang on. Yeah, you made a good point. I'm like, wait, why did everybody start freaking out that she knew Natalie? Because I'm like, is Natalie... Because I don't think Natalie would really be popular here.
Don't know. She definitely said Natalie though, so that's just.
Yeah, you're right. But you're right. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, you know Natalie?"
I guess because Natalie's been.
And obviously, Lottie's very interested in Natalie, so I'm wondering.
Yeah.
That's actually okay. In theory, now I'm like, oh shit, because Lottie's doing like a weird religion. I'm like, oh, is like Natalie like a figure in her like religion?
Maybe. I was also thinking, because Natalie hasn't really interacted with the groups. They were trying to get like the scoop on Natalie type of thing, but I'm not sure. So,
I could be spewing out of my butt, but I like that idea. But yeah, everybody's interested in like, now Misty's popular, and of course we get that scene where she felt nice. We've already went over that. But then when Natalie's like out having lunch in the cafeteria area, she sees Misty and like kind of goes over to her. It's like, what are you doing here? Misty's like, I'm helping you. I'm like trying to help you here, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like how Natalie actually wasn't that mad. Like she was upset at first, but she kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
But because then Natalie's like, hey, what happened to the guy you were with? And Misty's like, oh, he's gone. So I think Natalie kind of picked up that like they were like kind of romantic. It seems like, and then like it didn't work out.
Right.
And then Natalie kind of just like gets somber and she's like, oh my god, we're all like this.
Yep.
So I'm curious what she means by that. It's like, kind of just like everybody has their own issues, or like Natalie fits in more of this cult than she thought she did.
I like to think it's the second one. Natalie thinks she fits more in the cult than she thought type of thing. So.
Well, because the big thing is like, Misty's there for Natalie. But like Taissa and Sean end up going there for themselves. So it is kind of like, yeah, basically all the YellowJackets are traumatized and they probably should seek some kind of mental health.
Yep.
Lottie's probably not the person to do it, but
Yep. But overall, I like the stuff with Natalie, Misty, and stuff. That was good. Good follow up to Natalie's thing. I can kind of see why I forgot about Misty's thing though, because like it's good, but not. It's not memorable, I guess. So.
It's kind of just like whatever. It's more to serve Lottie's Natalie's plots, I feel like.
Yeah. Which
is fine. And then I really do like Natalie's after last episode, because again, I think Natalie's was like the weak link for the last two episodes, but Natalie's plot was really good. I like the fallout of how dealing with what happened with Travis, and like she's kind of like back to that depression she was in at the end of season 1.
Yeah, I like that.
Then we get Shauna's plot. So Shauna gets called into the sheriff's office, or police department, whatever the fuck. And she says we, and Jeff is like, oh, me and you? Okay, let's try to get our stories straight. She's like, actually, no, me and Callie. Mm-hmm. And I like how Jeff is like immediately mad. He's like, oh my god, Shauna, this is exactly what I told you. Not to get Callie involved in this.
Yep.
So again, Jeff is like a good guy. I like that Jeff is like, you said that a lot of the YellowJackets fandom like don't like Jeff. I'm like, honestly, Jeff is like the voice of reason.
It makes me kind of question like what's the mentality of the YellowJackets fan base if they don't like Jeff type of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, don't get me wrong, he was a dipshit for doing the blackmailing, but like everybody else has done equally stupid stuff. So I'm like, comparatively, Jeff is I give him a pass for that compared to the others.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't know what, like, the YellowJackets, I think they think he's, like, a bland character, and, like, I don't know why they don't like Jeff. Again, it's one of those things, it's one of those reasons I snooze YellowJackets group pages and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're not, like, you do not understand what people are like, apparently, I guess. Like, you think you want everyone to be like Shauna and Taissa and stuff. It's like, no, it's not kind of weird. I like the show, but that's not.
I feel like Shauna being such a bad mom is highlighted because Jeff is a pretty good dad.
Yeah.
And I like how, Shauna brings it up several times that she, like, kind of resents Jeff a little bit. She's like, oh, and Callie thinks her dad is super innocent, can do no wrong. And I'm like, I kind of like how Jeff is, like, a good dad. And, like, Shauna feels bad that she's a bad mom. So Jeff being a good dad, like, kind of rubs it in her face even more. And, like, kind of makes her, like, resent Callie and Jeff.
Yeah, I think that works out really well, yeah. So...
And again, Shauna says some really fucked up shit here. So I think Jeff, again, is like the voice, like he should be speaking for the audience here. I'm like, whoa, Shauna, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I agree, yeah. I just don't understand why the fan base just don't like Jeff. It just really doesn't really make sense type of thing. So
yeah. Because again, I think Jeff is completely valid where he's like, we should not get our 16-year-old daughter involved with all this murder bullshit. And Shauna, even Shauna's defense is stupid, where she's like, hey, come on, it's not even my fault. Callie got herself involved in this. So basically, she's blaming Callie when she's the one who committed murder.
Plus, too, Callie really didn't get herself involved in this, because she obviously...
She really didn't. She just figured out you murdered him because you're a bad liar.
Well, also, too, because the cop, like, questioned her, not even realizing he was a cop and everything like that, and, like, yeah. So she really, if you think about it, like, really, I mean, who knows what would have happened had Shauna not mentioned, had Shauna not told her. It might have been a whole lot of nothing. Like, Callie might have never even mentioned it to, like, the cop. They probably would have still seen each other, and then, like, a lot of nothing would have come out of it type of thing if Shauna never told her what really happened and everything like that. So, who knows? Shauna Mom of the Year right here, like, mentions to Callie that, yeah, you should have just slept with the cop. It's like, yeah, what a great mom you are right there. Like,
yeah, I was about to say, like, that's the other really fucked up thing she says. It's like, oh, God, there's so much trouble. You should have just slept with them. And then Callie, I like how Callie's like, oh, my God. And Jeff was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I think Shauna and, imagine what Shauna and Lottie's dad would be like if they were parents together. That'd be scary.
Oh, God, that kid becomes fucking Hitler is what happens.
Probably. Maybe worse.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. They would have an even worse mustache somehow.
What if they're a woman?
An even worse mustache.
Okay.
Just imagine Callie with fucking Hitler stash. Well, it's funny because they end up joking it. Don't they say, like, make a joke with the cop that he has a shitty mustache?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, they're basically like, okay, so, like, okay, we're going to go in to the police station. Yeah, so basically, like, they get separated. Kevin, they run into, Mustache Man. I don't even remember his name. Mustache Man. And he's being like super smug. He's like, "Hello, Callie." Like neither of them are really surprised. Like they both know that the other knows.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do like that Kevin is the one interviewing Callie and Mustache Man is interviewing Shauna, because obviously, like, probably not a good idea to have Callie be interviewed by Mustache Man, because she's obviously pissed at Mustache Man. And if they're trying to, like, be nice to Callie and get her to, like, talk, like, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I like this, yeah. And I do like, before you actually talk about it, like, they do the interviews, like, they'll show, like, a little bit of Shauna's and then a little bit of, like, Callie's to show, like, that, like, Mustache Man. I can't even say that without laughing, but... But yeah, they show that Mustache Man and, like, Kevin will take it different. Like, it's kind of like good cop, bad cop type of thing. And this is pretty realistic, too, that they do this in cop shows. And not just in cop shows, but in just cop things related in general. They try to separate, like, the victims to see who's going to break and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the best, honestly, weirdly enough, the best one I've ever seen this done, it wasn't even separated, was when they did the question and, like, Drake and Josh accidentally, like, admitted that they committed a crime when they didn't, but he was just being so stressed out and all that type of stuff. That was really funny. Like,
I am kind of curious, though. So, one, Shauna says, hey, listen, you're not interviewing my daughter alone. And then they end up interviewing her daughter alone.
Yeah.
I guess she meant, like, I don't want you specifically interviewing Callie. But, like, I still feel like Shauna should be like, you, like, nobody interviewing Callie alone, period.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't know why Shauna's getting interviewed alone. I feel like she should have a lawyer with her.
She didn't take Misty's advice, so.
You're right. She didn't. Yeah, Misty even said that to her at the beginning of the season. You're right.
Yep.
Wow. Shauna really didn't take any of her advice. She didn't burn the notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't get. I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's kind of funny how Shauna was like, "Oh, Misty, you're overreacting. It's fine. Well, you're being stupid." It's like, no, Misty was fucking right about everything.
Well, Misty fucked up real bad by not doing a good job of making it look like Adam went on vacation either. So.
Even worse, it's like they knew he was missing like that day.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel like I could a week before people report I'm missing. Adam was gone a couple hours, and they're like, "Holy fuck, where's Adam?"
Shows how good Adam was connected to the community.
Everybody, wait a minute, something bad just happened, and Adam wasn't right around the corner. He's not right here.
It'd be awesome if it was the cop that noticed. It was the cop that's interviewed. It was Mustache Man that noticed that Adam was missing.
Yeah, well, I think the joke of like Mustache Man and Adam are like brothers, and he's like, "I will avenge you, Adam."
It'd be awesome.
Mustache Man takes off his mustache, and it's Adam.
He was Adam all along. Like he's like that really wasn't Adam. It was like somebody else or something like that. That was like
yeah, that was Adam's twin brother or something. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So they end up interviewing Callie and Shauna separately, and like you said, they keep cutting back and forth. And I like before. They were kind of setting up that like Callie might be the one who breaks, and Shauna's gonna be like the hard ass.
Mm-hmm.
But Callie, she's like tearing up and she's being dead silent, and Kevin's like sitting to the top. He's like, "Listen, me and your mom go way back. I didn't want it to come to this. You're a good kid. Like, you don't have to protect your mom. Like you can talk to me." And it looks like Callie's gonna like spill the beans and break, but then Callie is just like, "I can't believe he slept with me. I was a virgin." Obviously, so basically, she's crying to like make it seem like she's upset that Mustache Man took advantage of her. Basically,
a big thing I liked about this scene was when Callie was crying. Like Kevin, there was tissues in the room. He like put the tissues, thinking he's gonna comfort her, and then once she's not, once she kind of
once he knows she's bullshit, he's just like, "Okay, I can't believe I even got the tissues out for you."
Yeah.
I think Kevin's pretty upfront. He's like, "Listen, you are not lying to the police." And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Like, "Hey, listen, who do you think the jury's going to believe? Me or you guys?" And I do like how, because Kevin has been like kind of against Mustache Man going off on his own, I feel like he kind of has his back here, where it's like, "Hey, listen, he knows procedure. He wouldn't take advantage of it. I know you're bullshit."
And I do like that because, when it was going to go that far, they did a good job of showing, like, Callie tried to take it that far, and he wouldn't go that far. So it's like, so it shows that he's not.
Yeah, well, one, we know she's bullshitting on two fronts. One, we know she's not a virgin because we saw her put her to bed.
Yeah.
And two, we already got the scene of, she tried to kiss him, and he was like,
Yeah, so I like that. So it's like Kevin's not bullshitting also, type of thing, so.
Yeah, the audience knows Callie's bullshitting, and Kevin knows he's bullshitting. Yeah. And then with Shauna, she immediately broke.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. He didn't even, force her to. He was just like, "So, are you having an affair?" Well, he didn't even say that. He, was like, "So, bored housewife." And then she immediately, spilled everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, this kind of leads into the idea of, Shauna just, wants to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm a bored housewife," and she doesn't say that she murdered him, but she kind of goes into details. Like, "Yep, beyond a fender bender, we started hooking up, and it was exciting for the first time in years, and how, I got into a marriage out of guilt, and I had a kid that I didn't even want, to, save the marriage." And she also says, no, not only, so basically she says, "I didn't even want Callie, I just got her to save the marriage, and also, I don't even like Callie."
I did like this because...
She said it to Jeff, in season 1, that she thinks her daughter's an insult. But for her to just, again, say, before they were, at odds with each other, Callie was really distant.
Yeah.
But now they seem to, kind of, gotten back to, a better position. You know, like they seem to be getting along better now. But she still just says, like, I don't like Callie.
I do like this scene because it reminded me a lot of that scene where Walt's talking to the doctor and to the like when he's in the hospital and like he's lying there, but you could tell there's some truth there. You could definitely feel like Shauna's lying a little bit, but there's some truth in what Shauna's saying here.
Funny enough, I feel like Drug King and Murderer Walter White comes off more sympathetic there because he doesn't really shift the blame there. You know, like he says, like, you know, he lists all the things that are wrong in his life.
Yeah.
But, like, he doesn't really blame anybody specifically. Here, Shauna is, like, basically blaming Jeff and Callie for, like, how shitty her life is.
It's not good.
Yeah. And, like, she admits that, like, she does love Callie and Jeff, but, like, she doesn't want to love them. Like, she's like, despite everything and, like, despite me not wanting to, I do care about them. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's cold.
Like, Sean is basically like, yeah, I know, right? And, you know, obviously because of what happened in the past where her first son died. I think that is part of it which again, that is not fair to Callie at all, but, like, I kind of get it, where she's basically like, I lost my first kid. It's like, she's like kind of resents Callie that, like, she lived and, like, the first kid didn't.
Yeah.
Because the way she was talking, she was like, oh, it's me and you, kid, against the whole world. It's just me and you. And obviously that kid died, so in a weird way, she, like, resents Callie for not being the other kid.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but that's, I think...
It's horrible, yeah. Absolutely fucking horrible.
Yep. So... Yeah, it's... Again, that's what episodes... Because that happened in the flashback, it, like... It still makes what Shauna's feelings fucked up, but, like, we understand him, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. So...
Yeah, well, it's kind of like we were talking about Lottie, where, like, you can make the piece of shit character, like, still sympathetic and understandable.
Yeah.
I think they're doing that more with Shauna, where Shauna is a fucking horrible person.
Yes.
But, like, I understand. Which is better than season 1, because, again, I was so fucking bored with Shauna in season 1. Here, it's a lot more interesting.
Yeah, can you really... Yeah, now that you've seen the... But now that you've seen the kid being born, do you think there's a way to fix that in season 1, or do you think do you have to kind of tough through it in season 1 and type of thing? So...
Nah, I still think you got to tough through it. I still think Shauna is just, like, affair with Adam, and, like, we didn't really get much of Callie in season 1, so yeah, like, there's not really that much there either for me to be, like, interested in hindsight. Jeff also was barely in season 1, so again, I can't really, like, say much on that. Yeah.
But yeah, this is really weird, yeah. But yeah, continue to talk about Shauna's interview.
And I'm interested to see if Jeff or Callie will find out that she said all this. Because obviously this is recorded, because we see Mustache Man, like, hit record on his phone. And obviously, like, these things are supposed to be recorded anyway. Yeah. So it makes me wonder if this ever became a court case. If, like, they'll play this recording and, like, Jeff and Callie will hear it.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
Because, I mean, Jeff stuck through with Shauna even after reading all the journals about, like, everything that happened out there. Mm-hmm. So it makes me wonder if there is anything that would make Jeff kind of turn his back on Shauna.
It would be this, I would think so. You know, it's like...
Yeah, I'm like, you know, her talking about how he, like, fucking doesn't like Jeff and Callie and, like, after everything they've been through, I don't know. I feel like I would be like, okay, Shauna, we're done. We're just done.
Especially, too, because don't forget, they were having some marital issues, like, in season 1, because they went to, like, you know, couples therapy and stuff.
Well, again, I think my thing is, like, they've kind of turned it around. Like, they've kind of gotten back. It's, like, it's still not good, but, like, it's a bit better than it was. Yeah. And for her to still say all this, when, again, they are, like, protecting her when she killed a man. Yep. Jeff, you could argue that he started it and he was also committing a crime. But again, Callie is pretty innocent in all this, and she's like helping them after they've committed crimes. And she has. And for Shauna to still be like, I don't like Callie.
Yeah, it's into it. Yeah, and as we,
I feel like more than anything, I feel like Jeff would like ditch Shauna because of what she said about Callie, and not even about him.
Yeah, because the thing is about Callie too. What's good is, because we didn't really see much of Callie, because we'll see more of Callie, we're like, wow, Callie really isn't that bad of a person. Like, she's only really that way around, like, her mom, and that's really it. Like when she's out with her friends and stuff.
And again, I blame Shauna for that more than Callie.
Yeah, definitely. So,
like if you had Shauna for a mom, I'm pretty sure you'd end up fucking being a bit of an asshole too.
I'd probably be at the bottom of a well somewhere. So,
But yeah, I like how Mustache Man is just like super smug, and like Shauna even points out like you're a smug asshole, and he just is like, so you do know Adam Martin, and Shauna's just like, God damn it,
yeah,
you know, like I like how Mustache Man didn't lose his cool at all when she went on this big rant.
I really.
Like, awesome, thank you for admitting it.
I really
that
like.
was incredibly easy. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I really like Mustache Man. He's really cool. It's cool. It's good.
Yeah. So then it cuts to Shauna going to the car, and she's like to Jeff. So I told him I was sleeping with Adam, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
I like how Shauna doesn't even say that. Like I could maybe understand it if he was like really pressing her and she let it slip. He didn't have to do shit. She just fucking said it.
I do wonder if like Shauna went into it thinking, you know what, Callie's probably gonna spill the beans anyways. I might as well just spill the beans too, type of thing. Like I
really don't think so. I think because when Jeff was like, "What the fuck," Shauna was like, "I don't know. I just said it."
Yeah, it was weird.
I think Shauna was going into it like thinking, like I'm gonna deny it, but then when she just got there, she just did.
Yeah, so it's weird.
Well, because Jeff even's like they pull out the glove box and the gun is in there, and Jeff is like, "Jesus, you have the gun in the car?"
Yeah, and he even mentions like, what if they?
Like, not even like you figured Shauna would have put it in the house, but she left it in the car. And Jeff is like, "What if they searched the car?"
Yep.
And Jeff is like, "Shauna, you are falling apart. You are ruining any chance we have of getting out of it."
Mm-hmm.
And Shauna's like, "I know."
Yep. And I think this is because Jeff got this call. He like mentioned to her like, yeah, you got to go to this wellness center pretty much if you want to like get out of this.
Yeah, well, I like how they even say like I think you brought it up that like because they were gonna go on that trip before they got robbed. That like it's like really suspicious if you get questioned by the police and then leave town.
Mm-hmm.
I think here it's like, yeah, that's suspicious, but like it's better, because like if you stay in town, you're gonna just fucking say you murdered him.
Yep.
So it's like you leaving and being suspicious is better.
Probably, yeah, at this point.
Yeah. But I like how Callie comes in and she's like, "Hey guys, so I lied, and I think we're in the clear." But then when she sees how like stone faced they are, she's like, "Oh shit, we're all going to jail." And Jeff is like, "No, but if your mom has any sense, she will leave."
Yep.
So I like how Jeff is just fucking furious with Shauna.
It's kind of almost like too. I feel like because Callie's now dragged into this, and she's like getting like a thrill off of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. In season 1, I can kind of buy he wasn't that angry with Shauna because again he kind of started it by doing the blackmailing.
Yeah.
And like Callie wasn't really that involved.
Yeah.
Here, like Shauna is dragging their daughter down with her.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he kind of draws the line.
Mm-hmm. So.
They've established Jeff's a pretty decent dad.
Yeah, I think so. I wish we kind of got more scenes with like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish we got more with Callie and Jeff because we've kind of just Shauna just keeps saying that like in Callie's eyes Jeff can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But like, and it's hard to tell if that's even true because Shauna is just like a resentful asshole.
Right.
And like she's just like upset that she's a bad mom, so she takes it out on Callie and Jeff.
Yeah. And then we get the end of the episode.
Yep. So.
Well, I'll say this though. I did like the Shauna plot though. I'll give it like 2 thumbs up. I thought it was good stuff.
I like that. Okay, so Shauna goes in there, and Van and Tyson were parked outside, and it's, by the way, fucking what luck that they were there when Shauna pulled in. Because remember, Van was not going to stay. She was dropping off Thaisa and going back home. And remember, okay, so Shauna and them were closer because they're both in New York State.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, Van and Thaisa were out of state because Thaisa drove until her car ran out of gas, and then she hitchhiked the rest of the way to Van.
Yep.
So I can buy that Thaisa and them took longer to get there. But still, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
That Thaisa and Van were parked there as Shauna were going in. Again, and Van was not staying. So if Shauna and them got there 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, Van would have dropped Tice off and Van would not be in the rest of the season.
Weirdly enough, it's the Hank from Breaking Bad thing when he catches Eisenberg type of thing. You know, that scenario. If he pulled in 5 minutes, you know, if he pulled...
What, when he reads the book?
No, when he if he didn't call his wife type of thing, if he pulled away 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, he would have lived because he caught Eisenberg, and the people pulled up like if Hank had left 5 minutes earlier, the neo-Nazis would have shown up and no one would be there type of thing. Like it would have gone off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one I could buy a little bit because like again they had to like arrest him, put him in the car. Yeah, I mean, it's like it is if he didn't call Marie, if he waited to call Marie, that would have changed the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like that one I can buy a little bit more. This is like wow, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah, this is really coincidental. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to bring it up because like again, Van was not staying, and because Van like pulls in after them and like goes to drive in. And Tice was like, "Oh, you're coming? Okay."
Yeah.
Like Tice is surprised that Van is coming in.
And like you mentioned, this could be a big deal. If something happens to Van or if something happens with Van here, it's all going to be.
And it's like that wouldn't happen if they just left like 5 minutes early.
Yep. They probably.
And again, I think it's a bigger deal because it's like. Shauna and them are closer, and Tysa and them, they had a head start, but they're coming in from out of state. So it's like, again, what are the odds they happen to get there at that point?
This is why sometimes, you speed sometimes, then you get there quicker.
Yeah.
Or like, back to the hit traffic too. Like them hitting traffic is what.
So legit, again, what if they just stop to take a shit? That's like, that would change everything.
Yeah.
But they end up all going in. Misty and Natalie were there. Natalie goes up and hugs Shauna, which is interesting because again, they haven't really talked that much. and when Shauna did talk about Natalie, it was Tyson being like, "Hey, what if Natalie ends up dying from her drug issues?" And Shauna was just like, "Oh well, shit happens."
And again, she almost kind of caused Natalie to kill herself at the end of season 1.
Caused Natalie to almost commit suicide. And then Misty and Tysa hug, which again is weird because Tysa doesn't like Misty and wants nothing to do with her.
Yep.
So it feels weird. It feels like they hugged the wrong people. Because they established that Natalie and Tysa are pretty close because Tysa was paying for Natalie's rehab.
Yeah, I should have. I
feel like Tysa would hug Natalie.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then I guess nobody hugs Misty.
She just waved. It's that scene from Jimmy Neutron where like they all got reunited, and I think like Jimmy and Carl gave like a handshake to each other. Libby and Cindy hugged each other, and Sheen was just in the background being like, "Hey everybody, what's going on?" type of thing. Like,
it reminds in Avatar. Remember when they get back from the boiling rock and like the new guy that just came with them. Everybody's like hugging like Sokka's dad, and he's just like, "Hi guys, I'm new. What's up?"
Yeah.
In Star Wars. So this is I'm gonna be vague, but this is something in the sequel trilogy that everybody's really fucking mad about. It was a very small thing, but it like pissed a lot of people off. So Chewbacca, Chewbacca.
Yeah, he didn't die. I guess
he did not die, but something else really bad happened. And another character who is like a really close friend of Chewie, like walked past Chewie to like hug another character, and a lot of people were so fucking mad about it because it's like Chewie just like something super fucking bad happened to Chewie, but like you walk past him to hug somebody you've never met before.
Okay, I'll have to see what that's about.
You've been friends with Chewie for decades, and you didn't give him a hug, and he just went through like the worst fucking day of his life.
So I'll have to see what that's about.
I have to be really vague, but like again, when it's such a small thing, and you know for a fact that the director wasn't even thinking about it, which is a big problem with the Disney movies. It's like they just didn't think about the old characters, you know, and like all that shit.
So we'll have to see what that's about.
That's when we get to it.
Well, it's kind of like that scene when, you know, in like season 8, when like the Reds and Blues started doing their thing. I think it was like Griff or something. Like I think it was Church like walked by Griff and they went, "Hey," he went, "Hey Griff, hey Church," type of thing. Like it was like that.
Yeah, we're like Sarge and Griff are talking about the Blues and how they're evil, and Church just walks by. He's like, "Hey Griff," and he's like, "Oh hey, what's up?" Yeah, like, they're just like talking shit about the Blues, and they just say hi to each other. Yeah. Everybody reunites, and then they all kind of stare at Lottie, who's off in the distance. And then Van, we get a close up of Van, and she's like, something seems off with Van now that she's come face to face with Lottie for the first time in a long time. And Lottie walks over to them. We get a shot of all the main characters. You know, Shauna looks like pissed off. She like crosses her arms. Everybody else seems kind of just like not pissed, but like just like straight faced. I don't know what to make of how they're feeling.
Yeah, they did a really good thing.
So yeah, again, I'm seeing what they think of Lottie. I'm hoping they pick up right where they left off. If they do a time jump, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Yeah, I like this scene a lot. Unfortunately, though, I think I've had stories about this scene. This is another one where the creators kind of fucked up with a little bit because they kind of forget that not everybody. Because I couldn't watch this episode originally, like when it aired, like on show, like if you had Showtime type of thing, because I think I was busy. But I think it was even before it aired on Showtime and stuff. Sometimes episodes of TV shows will show previews of what happened in the episode, and it's very vague sometimes. This wasn't one of those times. This is the thing they showed a preview for, was this scene right here. I'm like, wait a minute. This is kind of a big scene.
Okay, well, everybody showed up. Yeah, by the way, I said it before, I'm really glad everybody's finally together. All the plots have joined together. I would have been really upset if they waited till like the last episode or second to last episode again to like have all the main characters together.
Yeah, I really liked.
Now we got 3 episodes.
Yeah,
a third of the season to have the main characters like be together.
And I really like they treated this like this was like a big deal, like that all the main characters are together. This was what I was being vague about too, because I remember this is the thing you critiqued last season, and then I'm like, well, I can't really do that because obviously they knew they were going to have Lottie and Van like in their back pocket, I think, and all that type of stuff. So they were probably having this be the big thing about it. And when we talk about the 3 episodes, this is a bigger deal than you even know about type of thing. The fact that all the characters were together and everything like that. And it's cool. I kind of like seeing them all together. It's really cool.
And the thing is, like, because I complained about it quite a bit. You can do that well, like where the main characters don't really interact that much. Quentin Tarantino, he has done that in a few of his movies. Pulp Fiction, that's a big one, where there's like 3 or 4 main characters, and like they all have like separate stories, and like they only kind of intersect. Like the main character of like the first story is like in the second story, like briefly, you know.
Yeah.
Or Durarara, that's a really good anime where there's like 5 main characters, and they all kind of have their own separate plots, but like they will intersect more than like in YellowJackets.
I mean,
so again, you could have like a show where the main characters are separated for most of it. Because again, like I think Pulp Fiction and Durarara do that a lot better than YellowJackets.
I mean, Better Call Saul, that does it well. You know, the stuff with Gus and like Mike.
Yeah, or like Mike, Gus, Saul, they all have their own things, but like they intersect better than here. And also, I just think those plots, when they are separated, are more interesting than YellowJackets. Because again, I think a problem is, instead of having like an episode about Thaisa, an episode about Natalie, they'll like do little bits in each episode. Because I think that was a big issue with the last 2 episodes. It felt like nothing really happened for all the plots.
Yeah. I feel like too that Better Call Saul does it well too, because like anytime like Mike is dealing with some of the drug stuff, like a big example of that actually was when Mike and Hector like got their thing go down. When Mike had to go in to do his question, saying that the gun was his, he hired Jimmy as like his lawyer, so that was a way for the plots.
Exactly. Like when you think about it from Mike's POV, Jimmy is like a pretty minor part of that story.
Yeah.
Even though Jimmy's the main character. But like it makes sense why Jimmy is there at that specific point.
Yep. So
So again, the point I'm making is like I'm not hating on the YellowJackets specifically because the main characters aren't together. Like the problem is other shows will do that, but like they'll have them interact more and like in better ways. Where here it's like it just all feels too disconnected.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I'm glad that here they're together at episode 6. Now we'll have 3 whole episodes that have the main characters actually like be together and like interact with each other.
I feel like sitcoms sometimes do it better too. Like like in 2.5 Men.
Well, yeah. Well, because a big problem is like we have not seen like Sean and Natalie interact that.
Yeah.
Sean and Misty. Misty and Thaisa, like so they're the main characters, but like we don't really know how their relationships like are.
Yeah, so
whereas, like Family Guy, like, there's plenty of episodes where like members of the family won't interact with each other. But like you'll have a Stewie and Brian episode, a Brian and Peter episode, a Stewie and Chris episode, like you'll have episodes where like all you get a feel for how every member of the family like interacts with each other.
Yeah, you don't really get that with YellowJackets. So.
I'm not even a big Family Guy fan. I'm saying I still think they do a good job.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know how every member of the family interacts with each other.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for
But overall, great episode. I'll give it an S tier. I have a couple problems with it, but like nothing really to like weigh it down. I
agree. I don't really have any issues with this episode. Some of it's minor, but I feel like the episode, it's kind of like how you feel about season 8 with OVB. I feel like it's great. It's, its strengths really great. Like, the past and like, the present.
I have issues with, like, again, I think it's weird that Van didn't follow up on last episode. Thaisa, like, flirting with Van a bit was a little weird. But again, that's all like pretty minor stuff. Like, I'm not going to knock it down a whole letter grade just over that, Like, I'm not expecting the show to be perfect.
Yeah.
This was a great episode. I loved the past. The present was also great. They were pretty equal, honestly, in my opinion. There wasn't really a bad plot line this episode. And again, I'm so glad they finally joined me. I love this episode. S tier. I think it's a little bit better than Doom Coming. So far, it's the best episode of the series.
I agree. I definitely hope that this episode got like the recognition Emmy-wise and stuff, that it got type of thing. But I don't really care about the Emmys, so I'm not gonna look at it. It's one of those things I'm like in the Lottie situation where I have issues and I need medication, but I'm not gonna like tell anybody and follow up on it type of thing. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see what you think of the rest of the season, because obviously episode 2 was this good, and then it will be interesting to see what happens the next 2 episodes and everything like that.
It is strange. Season 2 has been a real hit or miss. When it hits, it hits. When it fucking misses, it misses.
So it'll be interesting. And plus, too, I would, we only have 3 episodes left. I hope they, really knock it out of the park and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I don't think I can do this. I didn't realize it was only 3. I thought there was like going to be 4 episodes left, so I didn't realize it was only 3 left. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's a little weird. They did 9 instead of 10. You figure they would go for 10, and it's a nice even number.
Yeah, but we'll see. But anyhow, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's do some nice plugs and promotion. We'll start with AJ because he's got the least amount to plug.
Sure, again, I finally have Wi-Fi back at my house. Once I'm done house sitting for my dad, I'll get back to working on that script.
And then, check out Wrestling Fortune 44 for all my wrestling videos on this channel. We're going to get back to, the videos this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. We don't know what day yet. We're going to finally review Season 9 of LVB, which I'm really excited about that, somewhat. Mainly for the past. Yeah,
for the past, and then, for the last, 2 minutes of the present.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we will talk to you guys later.